Hey everybody, welcome back to Crit and Fumble campaigns. This is kind of a big deal because we haven't recorded on our campaign channel in over a year now, I think.
Been a while.
And we have Chelsea at the helm. Haha, that's a boat joke. It's called a helm, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was like, is that like a spaceship? Anyways, and she is running Pirates of the Lost Fleet for us. She'll be our DM for this campaign. I'm going to shut up, let her take over the microphone. Chelsea, tell us about this swashbuckling campaign we're about to embark on.
I am super excited. So if you haven't gone to our one-shots channel, we had two one-shots that when we first ran them, I said was just me being lazy, just roll up some characters. And it was Valkyr's Dungeon and Viper of Fathomhold. And you guys essentially created the enemies for this campaign. So we'll have that involved in the intro later on. But yeah, if you haven't listened to those, that will give some information about what's going on
context.
here.
A little
Some
context, yeah.
Exactly. Thank you for the word.
Awesome.
So going into this is a swashbuckler. We have a super cool, huge map of the province of Breath and the area called the Endless Isles. Which I very gratefully have to thank my partner Chris, as well as a super cool ship mini to run some ship battles on. Maybe.
She says
no
mini.
spoilers.
It's fucking huge. It's like taking up
It's
half
two.
the table.
It's 2 feet. Yeah. It's 2 feet tall long.
It's massive. Check the social media posts. This thing's ridiculous.
Chris spent about 40 or 50 hours on this. It's wild.
my
He did
God.
such a good job. Yeah, and he printed
That's
it and he
pretty cool.
painted it. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much.
Good job, Chris.
Yeah,
good job, Chris.
Good job, Chris.
Yeah, and then I quickly wanted to touch on some homebrew rules, and then I think we're just gonna jump. Well, we're gonna do
the
homebrew
intro.
rules, then we're gonna do ads, then we're gonna do intro, and then we're gonna go straight into
Cool.
the story.
Well, don't take charge.
So throughout those 2 one-shots, you were able to earn boon cards, and all of you have at least one. Boon cards have been offered to you, and you certainly don't have to use them, but they offer you some interesting little opportunities. So if at any point you want to use one of those, you can wait to see if you failed your roll, and then announce that you would like to use that. It is a one and done. So once you've used it, you can never use it again. I actually have some other cards here to hand out too. Tash already has his.
Why does Tash get his?
Because
first?
you guys were talking about, no, they're all the
snacking.
same. Because you were talking about politics and snacking.
No,
and I was
think
sitting
he's
here.
the favorite at the table, which
Ooh,
is
this is
bullshit.
Deal with the devil. and it's,
You have a deal
cool
with the
art on
devil
it.
card. So every player will get a deal with the devil card. And this can be exchanged at any time to change any roll into a critical success. The catch is that I will hold onto that card and use it to turn one of your future rolls into a critical fail.
Oof.
This will only be used by me to change the role of the person who made the deal. So if Gavin hands in a card, I will write your name on it and keep track of that. I won't use it to fail Russ's or something like that.
I'll allow it though.
Wonderful. But yeah, so that is also a one and done. And once again, you can roll and learn that you have failed before you use it.
Cool.
And then one other rule I really like to use is called the last stand. If you reach 0 hit points, but before you roll a death save, you can declare that you would like to make a last stand. This is certainly not for everybody. But if you decide that this is the way you would like your character to end, for your turn, you are immune to damage. You have advantage to all rolls. You are immune to and healed of all conditions and curses. You recover all spell slots, class features, and anything similar. Enemies have disadvantage on any roll during your turn, and you gain an extra action, and if you're a spellcaster, you can use it to cast any leveled spells. You double your damage on anything you roll, and at the end of the turn, you die. No saves, no resurrections.
Dang.
You are dead. It is
So
for
dramatic.
that epic end that you want your character to,
Could we, when you're doing death saves, you get knocked out, you got to start doing death saving rules. You get 3 fails before you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Can I decide to do it if like 2 of my 3 are gone and I'm like, oh, I'm probably going out, so we're gonna make a deal or the last stand?
No.
It's
So
just like-
before you
It
start
is
throwing
before-
any
it
death
is
throws, you have
before
to
you
decide.
start
Oh
rolling
man,
death
that's
saves.
heavy. Okay, all right.
Yeah, otherwise people would have 2 fails and be like,
that is
"Meh."
heavy.
Yeah.
But like sometimes you're like, you know
like
what, this
it.
is a character
is
I
the
don't
moment.
see. Yeah,
Yeah,
I played
yeah.
a character in one of the ones that you hadn't recorded that I didn't expect to survive.
Yeah,
So
that'd be so cool.
I hate doing this accent. I want a new one.
yeah, exactly. So so it's definitely for a very dramatic end, and we will make it as epic as we possibly can.
Sweet.
And that is it for my homebrew stuff. And I will hand over the mic now to Gavin and Russ, I think. Gavin first.
Yeah. It's super exciting, actually. We often joke while we're playing, like, hey, sponsor us, whatever. But sure shit, we actually do have a sponsor too, actually.
Yep.
And we just wanted to give them a quick shout out. So the first one I'm going to read here is from UFF. UFF says, "Adventurers, you are tattered." Fuck, I'm so good at this
Already.
Adventurers,
Yes.
are your tattered garments failing to impress the local bards and wizards? Seek out UFF Screen Printing Studio in Nanaimo, which is where we're from, if you didn't know, Nanaimo, Vancouver Island. Hidden above the Vault Cafe, which is a rad place that you should also check out. A treasure trove where art and quality collide. With nearly 20 years of crafting legendary prints, UFF transforms your visions into high-quality masterpieces. Whether you are a daring artist, a battle-hardened band, or a brand with a quest for unique gear, UFF's got you covered. Why settle for mere mortal threads? Visit uffscreenprinting.com. That's uffscreenprinting.com. And bring your ideas to life with UFF, where every project is pure magic.
I mean, that was really
Very nice.
good.
Oh, thank you.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
yeah,
you
yeah.
went
Very nice.
first.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a question,
That's all
Tash. Is that
Yeah.
is that a .co or a .com?
I'm pretty sure it's .co.
Can we just check
.co?
quickly before I read that out?
Yeah.
Well, while
Just tell
you're
them to check
checking that,
both.
go check our social medias for those sick shirts that we got from
Sticker,
UFF.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a side shout out, not related to the podcast. I'm pretty sure UFF is doing the screen printing for my company's Christmas swag this year, and they did a
Nice.
fucking awesome job. So that's an additional shout
We
out.
should
But
call it oof.
oof, yeah, oof printing.
It's like when you get punched in the stomach because of
Yeah.
the awesomeness of the shirts.
Yeah,
You're like, oof.
right in the nuts.
Or posters or whatever else you want to get screen printed.
Well, it's posters too.
Yeah.
Can you screen
Does
print
all my
posters?
posters. He's amazing.
Amazing.
I don't trust anybody else. So the idea is that we were going to do the ad reads a bit silly. So I guess I'm going to go
wanted
into
to have-
silliness.
We
That's
wanted
as
to
silly
have
as I
fun
get.
with it. We wanted to not
Yeah.
just use a pre-recorded message.
That was
that's gonna
Gavin's
be boring,
silliness,
so
dialed up to 20.
I know that's like as crazy as I get.
Okay, well, let me try and get a little silly here.
Okay.
for
try
you
it,
guys.
Russ. Just see what happens.
Got a logo, a doodle, a picture of your cat dressed as a wizard? Turn it into a sticker. Upload it to stickermachine.co and boom! Did we mention free shipping? Yeah, that's right. We don't believe in shipping fees, just pre-unadulterated stickiness. And because we like you, use code STICKY20. That's right, STICKY20 at checkout for 20% off. Sticker Machine, slap some personality on it.
That was fucking incredible.
Subtle. That was subtle.
That was subtle. Welcome to Crit and Fumble campaign, the Pirates of the Lost Fleet.
Adventurers, grab your weapons. But first, kiss your kin. The wilds call, a timeless brawl. Now we roll for initiative. Good and evil fighting for the win. Crit and fumble, critical hit or just a fucking fumble. Cast thine eye on the rolling die. Legends rise on its battle cry. Time to rumble, crit and fumble. Critical hit or just another fumble. War is waged on the table stage. Untold sagas of an ancient age. Crit and fumble.
All right. Years ago, Captain Thaddeus Ironquil hired a group of adventurers from the city of Saiya. This group, found through the guild known as the Triton's Call, set off on what should have been a normal job. They journeyed to a distant land, traveling through a dungeon in search of a weapon of old, a relic of Thaddeus' own ancestor. Upon its discovery, they decided to follow the compass inlaid in the weapon's haft, pointing northeast. They returned to Saiya first, where they became embroiled in political intrigue and assisted in putting a new leader on the throne. This new Tide Sovereign, Veritan Romanor, offered them additional ships and crews to accompany them as thanks for ending the tyranny of the previous ruler. Together, the 5 ships sailed away toward adventure, and wherever the compass would lead them. 4 years later, and they were back. What should have been a joyful return became a nightmare for the people of the Endless Isles. With seemingly no cause, the crew of the Seabreeze, as well as 2 other vessels, rained terror upon the lands they once protected. It has been a year since Captain Ironquil returned to terrorize these waters. In this time, trade has suffered. Unending sinkings and captures have left supplies dwindling, and only the most foolish and fastest of ships attempt the trips through her waters. Small villages and towns report raids that leave them bereft of food and loved ones. Witnesses report scorched earth tactics. These pirates are faster, stronger, and more relentless than the Navy sent to stop them. Survivors of the attacks report supernatural abilities and an almost impossible knack for evading capture. Ghostly assassins, warriors wielding legendary weapons, fighters with an unseen speed, and spellcasters capable of tearing holes in reality, all led by a ruthless helm. It is through these waters that a well-maintained frigate travels, arriving in the safe harbor of Saiya, the capital of Breath and the jewel of the Endless Isles. The Scurvy Lady is one of the vessels willing to travel these days. Rumors have started to arise about this crew of 12 seemingly fearless privateers. Some say they have signed a deal with the devil to tread so intrepidly into the waters of the Ironquil Fleet. Others say they must have incredible abilities to have such confidence to step toe-to-toe with these pirates. Others still think they're total lunatics. Only you know the truth. As the ship trails into the calm waters of the Bay of Saiya, the captain of the Scurvy Lady approaches the helm, stepping up beside his second-in-command. Gavin, can you please introduce your character?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. This is Gavin. I am going to be playing Morrow Furtide, who is the captain of the Scurvy Lady. He is a tabaxi, which is a cat, if you don't know Dungeons and Dragons very well. He's also a bard, but not the kind of bard that you're probably imagining. He doesn't carry around a lute. He doesn't stand on stages and sing happy songs. He uses his knowledge from the bard college he went to, the College of Swords, to aid himself in battle with flourishes, enhancing them with magic, and using his words, his speech, and his prowess to encourage his crew and the others around him.
Wonderful, thank you. And could you give us a description as well?
Oh, yes. Yeah, he is relatively tall. Let's call it about 6 feet. He's kind of, he's a cat, but he's got darkish, grayish fur. You don't know if it's because he's gotten older, but he usually wears tight-fitting leathers, stuff that you'd see roaming around on a ship. Everything he wears is very utilitarian, tactical. He doesn't wear anything that's too showy. He loves his set of daggers, carries them wherever he goes, and you would notice around him or with him is often little wood carvings, which he doesn't really talk much about, but people often inquire, and he just kind of blows them off. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
And you are standing beside your second-in-command, a much taller man, currently holding the ship wheel. Tash, could I get you to describe your character?
Yes. I found I often have stage fright when it comes time to introduce characters, so I wrote a thing instead of improvising it, and I'm just going to read that.
Nice.
The salty wind ruffles the hem of Eldric's dark turquoise shawl, draped carelessly over his broad shoulders. Standing at 6'9" and weighing somewhere north of 300 pounds, he's a towering presence among the crew. Yet his stance is surprisingly relaxed, unhurried, as if the sea itself flows through his veins. His cerulean blue furbog skin, reminiscent, I don't know if that's the right way to say that, furbog?
Furbog?
Furbog? Yeah.
Furbog? I think you got it.
Furbog skin, reminiscent of shallow tropical waters, mottled with a soft pink glow that radiates from his ears and a faint rosiness on his cheeks. Like sun-kissed coral beneath the waves. His eyes, a striking shade of green, are warm and welcoming, with an ancient and storied glint hanging behind them. A thick, red, braided beard hangs halfway down his chest, sparingly adorned with beads and rings, each piece a token of a memory from a faraway land. His attire is humble. A simple striped hempen shirt peeks out from under a well-worn set of light brown leather pauldrons. His boots are well-used but sturdy, and his fingers, though calloused from years of hard work, are still quite nimble, constantly fidgeting with the small trinkets in his beard or the pouch of snacks that never leaves his side. Notwithstanding his imposing stature, Eldric's presence is calm and approachable. He carries himself with the ease of someone who's spent his life among family, natural or chosen, and the sea. There's a perpetual warmth to him, a friendliness that can make anyone feel at ease. Despite his role as the first mate aboard the Scurvy Lady, he speaks not from a place of authority, but from a place of knowing, a quiet strength tempered with the softness of someone who's seen both beauty and heartbreak. His laughter is frequent, like a low rumble of thunder before a storm, infectious, but with an undertone of something more. Underneath his easy charm lies a storm of emotion, a longing that waves heavy on his heart, and mysterious magic that he doesn't fully understand. He's a man shaped by both joy and regret, wandering the waves seeking redemption and a deeper understanding of himself.
Wow.
Awesome.
That was
Or
awesome.
something like that.
Yeah, or something like
Yeah.
that. That was great.
Do one for Morrow.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to read mine.
From the main deck, you hear a shout followed by a series of curses. You hear someone yelling to straighten out the cheeses, a sure sign that your bosun is annoyed at your new deck hand's rope work. Russ, could you introduce your character, please?
Yeah, I'm just going to read their backstory, maybe that might, because I've got to try to feel like I've got to compete with Tash now. My character's name is Darvin Ankorman. Darvin is a kind of like an orc, but looks of like a little bit of human descent too. Tall, strong, rough, not too pleasant to be around, but gets the job done. You know, he's the sort of person that you can rely on, but you don't want to get them too irritated in certain situations. He comes from the Dreor Valley area, just outside of a little village called Hearth. And his parents were actually sailors themselves. He has a brother as well, but his parents that were sailors, they actually passed away at sea on a working on a commercial fishing ship. And instead of shying away from the waters, he's decided the rest of his life, basically, he's going to just try to conquer the water. He has no fear of the water. In fact, he loves being in water. He loves everything to do with it.
And how many years ago did his parents pass away?
They passed away about 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Cool.
And he hasn't really let go of it. He needs to go to therapy. But there's no therapy around here. So he's just, he's just using his rage to get through life.
Oh, yeah, that sounds healthy. So from below deck, the smells of dinner being prepared begin to waft up, and you notice a few noses lift into the air as the delicious aromas capture them. The Scurvy Lady is known not just for her gall, but also for her cook. Dwayne, could you please introduce your character?
Well, my character's name is Sue, and then their last name is She's Chef. Sue, She's Chef. There we go. that makes
great.
sense.
That's very
Nice.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah. Perfect.
That's good. Yeah. And so, I don't know, he's kind of like a pirate-ish kind of guy. He's got a big beard, and he has, which is very good for, like food
Stuff in
safe.
my food, yeah.
Food safe. But he is part rogue, and he is part ranger.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Multi-classed.
Oh, yeah, multi-classed him, yep. And he is, like, whatever town is, like, nearest where the ship docks. He comes from sort of a high-class family.
Cool.
And his parents are, they put him through chef school, and so he learned the skills of. I would say he's a sushi chef.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Like he was born into it. Like they gave him the name at birth knowing.
Yeah, well, it was Okay, it was
Or
his
it's maybe not a real,
it
maybe
was
not his real name.
His destiny.
Destiny. Perfect.
His name's Destiny?
Destiny chef.
You are my density.
Wonderful. Thank you. As the ship is heading into Saiya Bay, you see a familiar sight. The city is built on the side of a mountain, starting high up and coming all the way down to the edge of the waters. Here, Saiya continues below the waterline, going almost as deep as under the sea as it does high up, and the city is split into 7 wards. Saiya was traditionally the home of high elves with some aquatic adaptations. However, they opened their gates to others a couple centuries back, and now the city bustles with races from around the world. There are many items and spells available to non-aquatic species to travel to the lower wards, though these can be costly. As you approach the docks, the sounds of orders being barked, people hawking their wares, and general chaos of the area at this time of day can be heard. Your crew races to get your ship moored, and you see the dockmaster making his way toward you, 6 guards in tow. A couple of years ago, this would have been a foreign sight. However, pirate activity in the area has grown to a catastrophic problem, and ships being searched upon arrival has become routine. As privateers willing to pass through more dangerous routes, you are offered some measure of respect during the process, but suspicions are high, and Saiya is one of the more populated areas that have begun this type of procedure. However, you do have a long understanding with the dockmaster, Phineas, a strong-looking sea elf with short brown hair and a dark tan. He will personally search the captain's rooms as well as any rear section of the hold, meaning he'll sit in Captain Furtide's table and share a drink before signing off that all is well, sight unseen. Over the years, this has allowed you to smuggle a variety of treasures and product into the city, with the understanding that the work you do has value and brings a measure of assurance that product will continue to make its way into the city. As the gangplank lowers and you allow him aboard, Phineas approaches you, Marrow and Eldrick, nodding at you both as the soldiers begin their search. All right. Good day, Captain. Trust the seas were kind.
Phineas, it's good to see you. Shall we share a drink for old time's sake?
Oh, yes, and then must get around to all that, very important searching.
Oh, yes, it must be tiring to spend all the time searching all of these ships with very little to show for it, I'd imagine. It's tiring work, one of which I would find myself wanting to put up my feet and sipping on a spiced rum or two.
Well, if you insist, I suppose.
Yes,
I
please.
can make time today.
Eldrick, perhaps he should join us. I feel like the rest of the day.
Oh, I think I can find some time to come on out there and have it you.
Phineas, to the captain's quarters.
Sounds good. All right, so you make your way there, and I assume pour a drink.
Yeah, for sure. And Morrow would put his feet up on the table and kind of lean back in his chair, and he looks at Phineas and he's like, "So, Phineas, what is the word in the docks? Have you come across anything of question? Anything we should be interested in?"
Not really, to be honest. Usuals. Bit of extra hooch, a bit of extra drugs. Usual things coming through. Bit of treasure that had to get confiscated. Bit of treasure that just disappeared.
Interesting.
But no, us, we're just sort of looking for anything suspicious, anyone suspicious these days.
Are we carrying anything Morrow should know about that's potentially questionable?
So that would be a little bit up to you. So you have recently returned from a fairly short venture with your new deckhand. And you found you made excellent time. Typically, to cover up for the things that you maybe bring in illegally, you bring in good stock. You're given jobs to run sort of like errands essentially, and that helps cover up anything illegal you might have brought in. Do you feel like this was an illegal trip, or that this was one that you just brought in legitimate stuff?
Morrow is too tactical to go somewhere on a short trip to pick up a new deckhand and not gain something else. So I'm guessing we went somewhere to pick up Gilda, our new deckhand, and
Thal is actually your
Thal.
newest one. Thal.
Oh, Thal.
The young one, yeah.
Yeah, the young one.
Oh, Thal, sorry.
Yeah.
Thal. And we would have picked up some sort of contraband, maybe nothing too crazy. Let's call it like rare spices, if that's like still an illegal thing.
Yeah.
It's hard to smuggle that stuff in.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of put it in the jars around the room, made them look like urns, that kind of thing.
Perfect.
And unless the relationship with Phineas would dictate that Morrow would tell him about it, he would be like, no, of course not. The regular old, sailing went and picked up a new deckhand, Thal, on top of the deck there. She's a young lass, but I think we can train her up just fine.
Oh, it's good. It's good. New fresh meat on board. Yeah, anything I need to know about? And he's kind of looking around, but as he looks around, you also notice he kind of like lays his hand out on the table.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, nothing that would be of concern to you, I'm sure. That must be tiring, like I said, warring yourselves with all the other riffraff that comes in and out of these docks. And he takes his preloaded coin purse, anticipating this, and drops it in his hand.
Excellent.
I'll let you dictate on how much that is likely. I don't know what Phineas' buyout would be.
You go through this every time that he's here, so it is 10 gold.
10. That's actually what I was thinking, so that's perfect.
Yeah, it's 10 gold each and every. And with the occasional extra tip if you need if you needed a little more space in the hold, and therefore to keep the guards away. However, that's not the case this time. Did get a bit of useful information for you though, if you're interested in a job.
Oh, any job is interesting to us. Whether we take it or not is up to the sea.
And he, as he continues sipping his rum, pushes a letter across. And it is sealed with a very nice wax seal. And it doesn't show any letters on it or anything like that. It shows instead a book open with a quill hovering over the book.
Interesting. I'd pass it to Eldrick. Eldrick, I'm not much for weeding. I said weeding. Reading.
It's pretty hard to be doing any weeding
I
when
think
we're
he's
out
a
at
great
sea.
gardener. I think he's a great gardener. I've got to be honest.
It's actually kind of funny you say that because one of my visions of Eldrick's, because he's not a druid, but he's very like nature forest in his upbringing, is his quarters would just be like full of plants. Like it feels like you're sitting in a forest.
Maybe that's
in
why I
his
said
room.
weeding.
So, anyways.
So you are handed this letter. Do you open it?
I do. He does. We do.
It says, to the captain and crew of the Scurvy Lady, your company is requested to discuss a job of utmost importance. Please be discreet and arrive promptly at the residence of the chapter of archives. Regards, T.
T is in the letter T?
The letter T.
Chapter of archive, eh? We ever been there before, Eldrick? That doesn't ring a bell to me.
Don't think so, no.
And you would roll me a first roll of the game. Roll me a history check, please.
History, let's do it.
And
you dice
can
that
either
Chelsea got
both
me.
do so or do so like with advantage if you're both listening.
All right. How do you want to do that, Tash? Were you going to do it with advantage?
Let's roll together and we'll take the highest one.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Ooh,
Natural
18,
one.
20. Dirty 20.
Dirty
Actually,
20?
dirty 21.
We'll take yours. We can use yours.
Fantastic. So Eldrick, with you having sort of grown up in the woods and all of this, you were a little bit more disconnected from the politics of the world. However, Marrow, you know that that Breath has a central government, and that central government has essentially different factions within it. One of them is the chapter of archives, and the chapter of archives is essentially the history keepers, the educators, the learners, the minds of this government.
Okay.
So the residents of the chapter of archives, essentially the main chapter is in the main capital, which is not here in Saiya. And the residents of the chapter of archives would be kind of like a place for scholars to come and stay and live in while maybe working out of the larger library in Saiya or anything like that.
Morrow swirls his rum in his hands as he sits, kind of leans back and thinks for a minute and glances over at Phineas. And he's like, Phineas, yeah, I've always known you to be a bit of a history buff. What do you know of this chapter of archives and why they might be inquiring about us?
Well, to be honest, not really sure why they're so worried about you. I do know that the bounties on the Ironquil Fleet have been going up.
Are we aware of the Ironquil Fleet? We know them?
You are very aware of the Ironquil
Okay.
Fleet. Yeah, so this has been almost like a terroristic issue in throughout the Endless Isles. And yours is one of the ships, due to its speed, due to you as a crew. It is yours is one of the few ships willing to go further away from the main cities and take on those more difficult trips. And you have actually yourself had a very brief brush with them on this last trip as you were headed out to Sargasso. Where you picked up Thal, and that was actually why you picked up Thal. Was your previous crewmate was done with the pressure and done with the stress. You had to pick up another deckhand.
Beautiful.
So yeah, this is you are aware of this
Okay.
this growing issue.
Well, it would seem that this is a timely event in which we must inquire about. And Morrow stands up, finishes his drink, and gestures to Phineas. I think it might be time for us to walk the plank.
Phineas throws back his drink and stands up, and on his way out, he sort of cheekily grabs the bottle, and
Nice.
something you're kind of used to with
Yeah, yeah.
Phineas at this point.
Yeah, Morrow would just have a chuckle.
Yeah, exactly.
Good old Phineas.
Yeah, alrighty. So,
When you said we're going to walk the plank there, that was just a figure of speech, right?
Yeah, the gangplank. It was just a joke.
Oh, look.
Don't have to take everything so serious, Eldrick.
Thought we were going for a swim or something.
Well, we can go for a swim if you'd like, but you know me, I don't really like water. Should we gather up the rest of the crew, or just you and I going to go and poke around at this archive?
Well, you know, a town like this, it's always good to have a little bit of strength with us.
So we should at the very least go and find Darvin. Maybe Sue. We'll see.
all right.
Lord knows he's probably been busy with Gilda nagging him about becoming the new sous chef.
Is that what it is, you think?
Well,
There's a little sparkle in her eyes, I see.
you think he's her type. I think you're dreaming.
Possibly.
Well, he throws a couple of coins on the table. Maybe we make it interesting.
I'll take you up on that.
All right. You're for Gilda.
Yeah, yes,
All right.
I think so.
Okay. We'll give it a fortnight, and winner pays. Loser pays, I mean.
How are we going to confirm it? I could just ask them, or
That's awkward.
I mean, we could always get Bristleface there. He always seems to know what's going on with all the tea on the boat.
I agree. We enlist Bristle to find out. Good.
All right, let's go round him up then and get
Well,
off.
I'll gather up my stuff here, the rest of the paperwork that we're going to need when we head into town. Why don't you and go get the rest of the crew, and I'll meet you on the docks.
Sounds good.
Cool. Marl will just start packing his bag. I'm assuming he's used to being stopped for your registration or whatever. He's got a little bit of gold. He hides the rest of his gold because he's been robbed before, so he doesn't bring
Perfect.
all of his gold with him, and would head down to the docks.
Excellent. So Eldrick, as you approach Darvin, Darvin, you are in the process of addressing Thal, your sort of 16-year-old new deckhand. Brand new, just picked her up in Sargasso on your way back to Saiya, so she's been on the ship what should have been 3 days, but ended up being 2.
All right, Thal. Remember what I told you. When secret's a secret, it's a bloody secret. And he pats, the wood on the side, the side of the ship.
Oh, sure. Okay. Who else is in on the secret, though?
Whoa. Captain
Okay.
and fucking Eldrick. Everybody, just...
So it's not really a secret then.
Eldrick, how's it going, mate?
Going pretty good. We're gonna. We just got. Well, I guess I can talk a little quieter. Other boats here around. We just got a letter from someone. We're gonna have to go into town and get some information about the next job.
All right, yeah. Well, what the fuck do you want from me, then?
Well, basically your body.
Oh, should I? I'll give you guys some
it's
alone
not-
time. No, it's okay. It's
no,
fine.
no,
And
this
she
is-
walks away with
this
her
is
hands
just
on
how
her
we talk-
ears.
oh,
She's a pain in my fucking ass already.
the young
mate.
ones are always hard to get used to.
Yeah, anyway. So, yeah, you want us to come to town, yeah?
Yeah, I was thinking we're gonna hit up with the captain and maybe grab Sue.
Yeah, let's go grab my mate, Sue.
All right, so you head down, and as you head down towards the galley, you hear what is a familiar sound, which is Gilda and Sue bickering over the food.
Gilda, try to keep your thumbprints off the plates when you hand them to the people, because it's you want to make sure that you've got a great presentation with the sushi, and all you want to do is make sure that your hands, those metal claws of yours, just be able to present it in a way that people want to eat it instead of looking at your big thumbprint on it.
I just do not understand. The problem is always cold. We are out at sea. Warm food is all we need, and you're always sticking this rice and this cold raw fish.
Well, and we also use the actual seaweed in order to make the flavors pop.
It's
So we're not going to go for hot. We're going for like the best, proteins, so that we feed the crew, right? And so I don't know, hot doesn't make sense. Things are salted.
Have you asked anybody what they think of your food?
It's
Other
not-
than Zarek, we all know
No.
he'll eat anything, but he doesn't have a fucking tongue.
No, you can cook whatever you want when I'm not here.
I do. Often.
Great.
And
right?
sometimes I wait till you finish cooking and I cook something else too.
Fantastic. Good for you.
So you come into this, to this.
Oh my god.
Hey, hi. Hey, can you want to just quiet? Can we just talk for a sec?
Yeah, sure.
So, we're gonna head into town with the captain. We've got a job to find out about.
Okay.
So, maybe leave Gilda if you don't mind hanging back here, and maybe whip up some lunch while we're gone or something. And
Of course, I will take care of your cooking. And Gilda is a mountain dwarf. She's fairly petite, but there are stools. She kind of kicks around everywhere. And she's got like thick black hair that's like up in like 12 dozen braids and stuff like that. And but she just hops up and immediately starts heating some food.
Just microwaving sushi.
yeah, we have no idea when we'll be back. So if you just want to get the rest of the crew fed and make sure everyone's doing okay, then
Of course, and if I have time, I will do some meal prep so that we don't need to cook when we're out.
well, that's not what I'm saying. That's between you two. I'm not going to step in on that. That's yeah. We should go. We should probably go. Captain's waiting.
We're gonna need some ingredients while we're on shore. While we've touched down here.
Okay.
Do you want me to go do some shopping for you?
No, you can stay here and you can feed the rest of the crew as you've been asked to do.
Well, is it just some rice or something, or you need like something that you need to get your hands on? And
we need some fresh fish. We need some, daily things that are daily caught.
Like some bread and some meat.
We don't need bread.
Daily cod?
Daily cod, yes, and
Oh,
a daily
like a
catch,
good
whatever.
daily cod.
Daily catch.
Yeah.
If there are any crabs, we can grab those.
I know you go crab soup.
All right, so you head out onto the dock now, I assume, and meet up with Marrow.
Marrow would be standing there talking with Tea Leaf. I don't call him by his first name.
No,
I call
of
him by
course.
his, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, Tea Leaf, we're going to need a couple things from you, and I'm sure the rest of the crew is going to have a few supplies, but I'm going to need you to go and find me a new spiced rum. Finny's taken one of my better ones, and we both know that I'm not going to sail away from this dock until I have something to restock onto my shelf. So he hands him a coin purse. First order of the business is for you to go and find us a nice spiced rum. Yes. Second order of business, I would make sure you go and speak with Sue, because inevitably he is gonna ask you to pick up some more rice.
Captain, I can do that, no problem.
The rum first this time.
Okay, the rum first, Captain.
Yes, tea leaf, and not spiced rum. The last time you got me
Spiced.
that gold shit that I didn't want to drink. I'm gonna pour it down your throat next time till you throw up over deck, and then I'm gonna throw you over deck if you don't get me spiced rum this time.
Oh, of course, Captain. Oh, yes, absolutely, Captain. Spiced rum, not the gold shite, otherwise I'm going to be throwing it over the deck, and then you're going to throw me over the deck. All right.
There's a good lad, Nietzsche. He taps him on the cheeks.
Yeah, and he's and Finn and Tea Leaf is one of the deckhands, and your assistant as well as sort of like your kind of go-to assistant for his typical reliability, although not around rum, as well as Eldritch.
I feel like he's too young to drink rum, so he's like, yeah, that one.
And that's the thing too, is that you're not totally sure on his age. He is a halfling, so he looks like a very sweet face, like, brown curly hair and freckles, and he's like little cherub face. But you're also aware that halflings live quite a while.
Right.
So you're not totally sure, but yeah, very earnest and attempts to be helpful.
Morrow just purely judges people based on how old they look. Now, not their race's age. You know, he looks way too young to know what the hell he's doing.
So then he looks about 8.
Yeah, exactly. Right? That's why I'm like, pick the damn right rum.
this is from the pepper black and pepper colored cat man.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Excellent. And the moment that Sue comes up, Finn and Tea Leaf would be racing up going, Captain said you might be needing some rice or something. Is there anything you need me to run and get you?
We're going to need some rice, but we're going to make a bisque because, Gilda is on me about hot foods now.
Okay.
So we're going to need a bisque, so I'm going to need some fish sauce.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna need fish sauce. I'm gonna need some clams. I'm gonna need some potatoes, some onions, garlic, some of the things.
Potatoes. Okay.
Garlic. Did you get? Are you getting?
Oh, did
all
you
of
say
this?
we're getting potatoes this time?
We're getting
Oh,
potatoes.
fucking we. It's about time.
Can you make sushi with potatoes?
We're gonna make it best. Gilda wants the best. She wants something warm on the decks.
Well,
And I'm like, okay.
may the seas bless Gilda for some hot
Just
food
none of
for once.
the beetroots. I don't want my shit turning purple again.
There won't be any more beetroot.
Last time we had beetroot, I thought I was dying.
Yeah, you and me.
Little
Those are
frightening.
Gilda's recipes. We've kind of put those in the back shelf right now. And
I'm just chewing on some jerky, watching this whole thing going down with total disdain
Yeah.
for all life.
Yeah. As you're standing there, you see this like bundle of like bright blonde curls, and like 5'4", like sprite like girl race past you, and you recognize what looks to be Thal, heading into town, without permission.
Hey, where the fuck are you going?
Oh, we just landed, so I thought we could go see the sights. And
No, get back in the ship, you fucking idiot.
Well, did you need any? Sorry. Anytime Dwayne loses it, that's it for me. Dwayne's about
So
to
am I
spit his
too
drink.
in character for Dwayne?
No, I loved it. I was good until Dwayne left. Oh, did you need any errands run? Maybe I saw Finnan was heading into town. I could go get if you need anything.
No, get back in the ship.
Oh, okay. And she sort of wanders back slowly.
Make sure everything's sanded, smooth. I want to have nothing wrong with any piece of wood on that ship right now. It's going to look beautiful.
Fantastic. Yeah, she doesn't respond, but she sort of walks slowly. Is anyone else paying attention to this?
Yeah, I feel like Morrow would have walked up to Darvin, and he's like, Darvin, can we have a quick word?
Yeah, mate, what do you want?
It wasn't too long ago that we had lost our most recent deckhand. We just went sailing for a day and a half. Granted, we got to pick up some spices, some stuff that we can sell, but heading out to the sea every time we need a new replacement isn't exactly the cheapest of voyages. Well, I do appreciate your tenacity. Maybe we could lighten up on the deckhands until they're a little bit more committed to the ship.
Well, I mean, maybe, but don't you think they might get in a little bit of fucking trouble if they're running around a little town by themselves when they don't know where the hell they are?
A point well taken. Maybe they can come with us.
Yeah,
Or at the very least, maybe go with Thistle. What is his name?
Tea leaf
Tea Leaf.
is what you were calling.
Yeah, Tea Leaf. Maybe head into town with Tea Leaf.
Yeah.
At least she could pick out a spiced rum or two.
Okay, yeah. Thal, come back over here, mate.
Yeah.
You're going to go with Tea Leaf.
Oh, Finnan, we get to go. Oh, where are we going?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And she immediately like reaches down for his hand, like he's like a little kid or something. And Finnan gets like all like rosy in his cheeks, and you see his ears go red. And he's like, maybe you could help me find a good rum or something. And then
Now we're talking. Yeah.
they sort of wander off into the crowd and everything. Eldrick, were you paying attention to this?
Kind of half. He doesn't love Darvin's tone necessarily, so he's kind of trying to stay out of it. He also knows that he's in control, and he's just like.
Roll me a perception check at disadvantage if you weren't properly paying attention.
Morrow would go back over to Darvin and be like, look, thanks for doing that. I didn't want to call you out of place, and I hope none of the rest of the crew saw that. But do you agree? If we keep moving deckhands, things are going to get a little tricky out on the water.
I agree, Captain. Don't you worry about it.
All right, Darvin. I do have your back. Something I wanted to bring up.
I'll have your back when it's time as well.
Thanks, mate.
What did you roll?
Natural one.
That's beautiful.
You don't know shit.
You notice nothing
My
ever.
ears. I have tinnitus that comes up sometimes, so I just didn't hear anything or see anything or.
Fantastic. Alrighty. So, what is your plan? You have this letter.
Yeah, I think, or I guess we could talk that, Karen. So I'll show everybody the letter, hold it out. What's the plan here? We just going to stomp up to these archives and go and speak with whoever's in charge, this T. They sign off with just a single letter. I'm assuming that's not their name.
Well, it seems like that's. I mean, if they're telling us right to go there in the letter,
I would guess it's a job. We are, as far as I'm aware, out of jobs and out of options.
if it's coming from them, it's probably a big one. This isn't going to be a taxi ride for somebody, or well, I guess we don't know what that is in this world at this time. But I just think that they sent the letter looking for us. They told us where they are. I think we just show up. There's nothing being secret about it, other than I think it says in the letter not to tell anybody.
Well, we can tell each other, I'm assuming. We're speaking in hushed tones on the docks. Let's head up there. We'll speak with them, and then we can always turn it down if we don't want it.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I'm just along for the ride.
Rightio, well, let's take to it. And he
Alright.
starts heading up there.
I'm at the while they're talking about this, I'm just randomly mean mugging merchants that walk by.
Fantastic. Roll me an intimidation.
Can I assist him in a way? I feel like Morrow is like, he's kind of a gruff, not that nice guy. So he's like glaring him, and then Darvin is like following that up.
Fantastic. Absolutely. Yeah,
Eldred?
yeah.
I got an assistance on that.
Yeah. Oh, so then you can roll with advantage.
Eldrick is doing the opposite. He's walking behind them, like waving and
Like, sorry,
smiling
sorry.
and doing like
14.
14. Wonderful. The merchants you mean mug for the most part drop their eyes, look away. They're kind of Saiya is a fairly common port for you to come into, and they're at this point used to you as you're making your way through.
We have a reputation to uphold, don't we, lads?
Yeah, we sure do. Keep on moving, fancy pants.
Eldrick treating it like it's a parade.
The queen is like, oh,
Hello.
hi. Yeah, nice to see you.
What's Sue doing as you're making your way through the
He's
city?
looking at the wares. He'll be picking stuff up. He'll be like, just sort of feeling the, like whether it be silk or whatever, and he'll just kind of throw it back down, and like what he likes, he likes. What he doesn't like, he doesn't like. If it's quality, it's great, and if it's not, it's shit.
Cool.
Right? Yeah, and he's just kind of checking things out.
touching everything.
Just checking stuff out.
I
Right?
feel like we're always turning back, like, Sue, let's go.
Just the slowest window shopper ever.
Come on, sweet cheeks.
Well,
this-
Sue's also he's like a celebrity, so like he could go into any tavern. He can go into any tavern and actually cook up a fantastic meal, and people they'll go there because of his fantastic cooking.
Gordon Ramsay.
Wonderful.
So he'll draw a crowd if he's so. I mean, that's always if we need intel.
roll
Yeah,
me roll me like a straight charisma.
-4.
Well, it's a 4 on the dice. That's not helpful. And my charisma, 4.
4.
It's
Okay,
just straight,
perfect.
yeah.
Straight. Okay. As you're walking by, you hear some whispers and some like giggles, and you're like, oh, maybe those ladies over there recognize me, and then you realize that they're talking about the 9-foot tall furbog behind you, 6'9", but and no one has noticed you yet. We'll check back in later on your celebrity status.
Sure. No
I'm
problem.
holding my jerky and wagging it like it's a dick.
What a charmer. What a great
guy's
group.
fancy.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you are familiar with where the chapter of archives is. There is a university section in one of the upper wards. However, this does mean a lot of walking upwards, stairs and slopes and all of that. And it takes you a fair while. You're walking for about 45 minutes to get to this sort of university area. And there are some houses and some residents as you approach. And up here, the view is stunning. So the area around Saiya, the Endless Isles, were hundreds and thousands of years ago, were actually mountain peaks. Saiya was once a very, very high up area. However, there was a calamity called the Great Flood, and it filled this basin, and now all of these islands that you see are mountaintops, or were mountaintops. So what you're able to see is these hundreds and thousands of tiny little islands in the distance, and surrounding you with some larger islands as well. And as you approach these residences, you see a fountain in front of one of them, which matches quite closely the stamp that was on the letter you had. It is a book with a quill, and this is the university area is a very magical area. There's this is where bards come. This is where mages and magicians come to learn their magic, as well as just your regular scholars. And this statue is sort of a fountain, and the pages are slowly flipping before all flipping back again. And
Cool.
And behind it is what appears to be almost like a huge villa. And there are some students sitting around, and you can recognize them based on the clothing they're wearing and the robes they're wearing. And there are a couple of guards out front of the large villa doors. What would you like to do?
I walk up to the fountain, and there's like a student sort of sat on the edge of the fountain. And I put my boot just unnecessarily close to where he's sitting, foot up.
Wonderful.
Put my hand into the water that's coming out of the fountain and just like kind of splash it on my face because I'm assuming it's a pretty warm day and we've had a bit of a hike.
Yeah.
Don't mind me, mate.
You're splashing my books.
Okay. And I just walk off.
He like dries the page and carries on. All right, what would you like to do?
Morrow would take the letter out of his vest and open it up and have it ready to present. And I feel like he's been around here before, kind of like knows part of the drill, and heads up to the guards and waits for them, or anticipating them inquiring.
Yeah, and as you approach, something happens that usually doesn't, which is the guard immediately nods at you and says, yeah, just head on upstairs, and opens the door for you.
Well, about time. Just puts the letter back in his vest. He turns around. Finally made it there, boys. He says, cocking, like more as a joke, like he rolls his eyes so that we finally got into the archive without being, patted down first. We head in, and I guess, do we know who we would approach? Is there like a front desk
Receptionist?
So as you enter, this is a very large sort of like foyer, but there's books everywhere, and there are people sort of milling about and chatting. And you are almost immediately approached by what appears to be a page, who comes and says, "Yes, can I help you?"
Oh, yes. I take the letter back out and fold it open and hand it to them. Say, we're looking for a tea.
Oh goodness! And the page quickly flips down and looks at the stamp and goes, "Oh yes. Just follow me," and like hands you the letter and
Thank you.
bustles up the stairs, making sure that you're following and yeah.
I glance back at the crew, kind of like giving them the nod, like, are we doing this? Are we following?
Yeah, we're doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do this. I do
Could be a
pull the
good one.
other axe off of my back. I don't do it in an aggressive way, but I'm just like kind of swinging it by my side a little bit.
Excellent. This is noted by many people in
bet.
this essentially a library, right?
Yep.
And you head up these sort of big, large staircases that split off, and you head to the left, and you take a couple of more staircases up until you eventually arrive at an office door, and the page just says, "Oh, I'll just be one second," and like creeps in the door and is gone for a moment, and you hear some quiet murmurs where they reappear and usher you in. As you enter, you see from the large bay windows, which are currently open to allow the sort of semi-tropical breeze in, that this does appear to be the office or the space directly above the main entrance, and the view is stunning. You're able to see much of the city. And standing in this window, sort of surrounded by all these books and what appears to be very much a study, there is a very petite woman wearing. Pulling up there we go. A very petite woman who, upon looking, you recognize to be a gnome, and she's wearing a scarlet dress with these beautiful gold like details on it and beads, and she has blonde hair that reaches all the way down to the floor that she has braided in these massive braids with more gold adornments. And while she is very, very slender and very petite due to her race, she is also very striking in how she looks. And she turns to you as you walk in, and you hear the page close the door behind you, and she says, "Oh, good morning. I've been awaiting you. I take it you are the crew of the Scurvy Lady?
That
We
would
are.
be us,
Yeah,
yes.
that's us.
Hey?
Yep.
Excellent. If you would like to take a seat. And she beckons over to what's sort of like a little sitting area near a fireplace that's not currently lit. And she heads over and she takes what is very clearly the largest like power seat in the room. It's like the big like winged or big backed like a armchair and everything. And she sits down. And as she walks, she almost floats across. And she's very difficult to age because, as some of you are aware, gnomes also have quite long lifespans, and she appears to be quite young. However, the way she moves and the wisdom in her eyes sort of belies this. So she sits down and indicates for you to all sit.
You must be T.
Yes, I would be Tana, Corona of the Chapter of Archives. Roll me a... history.
Ooh, history. Are we all doing this?
Anyone who would be curious in this moment or who feels they would maybe know this information.
Natural 20.
Nice. 22 for me.
Natural 20, 22.
Oh, do you want me to roll?
Only if you would be paying attention or care.
I don't care. I think
No.
I think my person is just there for the ride and does what he does.
When you come in, there is like a little like tray of snacks and stuff. I don't know if that's maybe where he heads instead.
Yeah, I head over there and I kind of lean my axes and myself against the wall. I have no interest in sitting, but I'm watching the
Fantastic.
doors.
They're the world's tiniest finger sandwiches. And you're watching the doors. Perfect.
Literally finger sandwiches.
Sue got an 8 minus 2, so he's about 6.
Eating sandwiches.
He's over trying to reorganize the sandwiches.
What are you doing, mate?
Just touching.
Well, that's all bread.
Yeah, it's
Right,
true.
like, give it a little more meat in here, man. If you take out one of these pieces of bread and slap a couple of together, then it's like it's not all just bread.
I've got some jerky, mate. Here you go.
Well, you just put it in the sandwich.
No, I'm not wasting my jerky.
Fair.
So, the two who are paying attention would know that the Corona is essentially the head of each of these chapters. So within this government, there's essentially not a ruler, but a leader. And Tana being the Corona of Chapter of Archives means this is not her typical home base. She has traveled from one of the larger cities and is a person of considerable power. I'm certain you are wondering why you've been, summoned here.
Well, rightfully so, I'd imagine.
It has come to our attention that perhaps the Chapter of Archives may be able to assist in the great terror that has been establishing itself in the Endless Isles. I had come myself to bring news of this, and I feel that perhaps your ship may be one that would be able to offer us some assistance.
Is this the Ironquil then?
Yes. The Ironquil Fleet has been traveling through for a while and has been causing some troubles for the local government as well as many other ships and towns. And I have been made aware that perhaps there is a need for the coast to arm itself against a great evil.
And you're hoping that the Scurvy Lady is going to single-handedly head out into these salty waters and head on these Ironquils.
Oh, quite. If you wouldn't mind getting to it, that would be lovely. No, I've hired you for a different job, assuming you take it.
Well, we shall see, but please, educate me.
It has come to our attention that there perhaps might be a tool, a weapon that we might be able to use to help change the fortunes of the Endless Isles and protect itself from a great evil. It is called the Heart of the Tides. Anyone who is paying attention and has any serious history around sailing may roll a history check.
Yeah, Morrow would definitely, he's spent
Yeah.
his whole life sailing.
Eldrick Sailing.
Oh, I got a 3. Come on. And history, 6.
History.
17.
Oof.
Not
I've
20.
kind of like
Nat
perked
20?
up.
Sue in the back.
Me and Sue perked up.
Yeah, I got an 8.
Part of what?
What is interesting is that while the captain and the first mate have not heard of this, Sue and Darvin, I actually think that maybe you have heard this through all your time in taverns for different reasons. This is a story often told over a few drinks, and it is a sort of like an old wives' tale in essence, and of a weapon that could literally change the tides, and that could control the seas. For you, though, this would be like the head of the military coming and being like, "Hey, we need you to go find Thor's hammer." This is a pretty big, like, old wives' tale.
Yeah.
Almost far-fetched.
Yeah, far-fetched,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Maybe that's why our history checks were so bad. 'Cause
Yeah.
we're just like,
We're
come
just
on,
like, oh,
we've
that's
heard,
not a
we've
real
heard
thing.
that story.
That's not a real
Yeah,
thing.
Heard it
Yeah.
all before. Hey, Sue?
Oh yeah.
Bunch of shite.
One in every tavern, eh?
Yeah, I know. Turn my tides, I'll tell you.
And I understand why you would think that. However, and she stands up and she heads back over to her desk, and returns with what is to her an enormous tome. However, to you would be closer to a normal book. And she sort of plunks it down on the table in between you two, and she flips it open. It has come to our attention that perhaps there might be more to this than we initially thought. This is a book that's been handed down from some of the elder elves as well as druids, from some of the smaller islands, and it speaks of warriors of old who wielded this, who changed the tides and who changed the very landscape of our islands. And so for the last couple of years, I've been looking around, and you can see it. And she heads over to the map of the Endless Isles, and she starts pointing out some of these islands. A lot of these simply wouldn't be found in nature. Even based on the fact of the Great Flood, you can see here, and she points out an island that looks like a half moon with almost like speckled, perfect, and you can actually see this on the map too, right close to on Gavin's side, what looks like a perfect half moon, with these little speckles of island around it, and she starts pointing out other islands that she said, nature just simply would not create these. So what did create? And if you look back through the book, and she starts flicking through, and it's all written in a hand you don't understand, a language you don't understand, and she starts translating chunks of it. Does anybody here speak Sylvan?
Actually, I think I do.
No. Common Elvish Giant.
Where do I see my languages?
I speak Draconic.
It's in the bottom left
I
on
bet
D&D
you
Beyond.
do.
Yeah.
In the bottom left corner of your...
Oh, no. I chose Common Sign Language over Sylvan. I almost chose Sylvan. Dang it.
The fact that you chose Common Sign Language is kind of perfect for one of the characters that's aboard your ship.
Oh, perfect.
But yeah, so she's reading this out first in Sylvan and then in Common, translating it. And she's telling you reading you these excerpts of descriptions of how a warrior of old came and created this safe harbor, and how another wished to create an island that looked like a love heart for their their lover. And as she's saying these, she's going back to the map and she's pointing it all out. These would not be found in nature, and yet we have proof of them, and we have proof of them in the histories. I believe that we may be able to find the heart of the tides, and if we can find the heart of the tides, we could change the tides of this evil that is threatening us.
So you want us to sail to some unnatural islands?
No, not quite. Ideally, absolutely ideally, I'd like for you to go and talk to some of your friends in Sargasso, and then come back here and just tell me about it. Sorry, did you think I was sending you on a big quest?
No. Yes, well, I mean,
Well, I just don't really know you. It'd be sort of nuts for me to just send you on
well,
some
the
huge...
Scurvy Lady is known for her ability to run messages to other isles. We'd, of course, be very interested in delivering such an important message for... What was your name again?
Tana.
And what sort of pay or benefit might we gain from such a important delivery?
Well, so here's what I need. I require you to go to Sargasso, and I require you to use your influence there to ask very pointed questions and gather information about any strange tides, any strange activities in the water, any sailors who have seen anything, anyone who has seen powers that simply should not be. I would be lying if I said you are the only crew that has been hired for this task. The Tide Sovereign has asked a few ships to head into the various islands and search for it. However, I feel that perhaps you might have some inside abilities through Sargasso that perhaps the crews that have been chosen would not. He has chosen many naval officers, many men and women of virtue that I feel perhaps you don't actually meet.
You do realize we have a reputation to uphold in Sargasso. Us stomping around and flipping over rocks that are not ours to be flipped is a great way to have our reputation ruined.
I can offer you 10,000 gold, and if that information leads to the successful procurement of the item, I will give you 5 years with first choice in all contracts that come into Saiya.
See, he looks over at the crew with like a glint in his eye, and he's like, well, one can always reimagine their reputation, can't they?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I don't know about you're working at a burger joint. You know when you have sushi, and he's actually he's now created like this plate, right? And he's got like these nice cheeses with the grapes, and he's taking his daggers and he's like cut the grapes just so nicely so they're bite size. A little bit of pear and cheese, and the sandwiches. He's like looking at the lettuce on these sandwiches, and he like flicks them off because it's all
like
soggy.
smacks against a wall.
It's just like, oh, so he's taking out some of the bread and some of the things, and he's created like this sandwich, and he puts it in front of her and says, "Why don't you try that and see about our reputation?"
Oh goodness. Wonderful.
I lean in and watch her intensely.
Yeah, we're all like,
I'd like you to roll a what check would that be? I want to
Sandwich
say
check. Yeah.
I'm so torn.
like performance,
But like
maybe?
performance
That's what
is
he
what I
does.
want to
Yeah,
lean
yeah.
towards. If you can argue something better, I will accept it. But I need a good argument for
intimidation.
little persuasion.
Yeah.
Try
it.
the
Except
try.
persuasion. Yeah,
try
yeah.
the
Can I somehow give him advantage by helping?
How are you helping with this?
I feel like I would talk. I would
Sandwich
tell.
jazz hands.
I would tell the backstory of a story in Sargasso. Am I saying that right? Sargasso.
Sargasso,
Sargasso.
Where Sue single-handedly stopped a bar fight with his sandwiches. Like tables were being flipped and stuff, and he just started serving sandwiches like this, and everybody stopped and just started eating.
The crazy
Wonderful.
thing was, it wasn't even made of food.
What was it made of?
Just like pieces of chairs and the menus and
He's a
Whatever he
he's a
could find.
talented man.
Go ahead and roll with advantage. Yeah.
So I got 4 on the dice, but I get a +8 to my persuasion, so 12.
+8.
holy shit.
And that was with advantage.
Oh no, that wasn't with advantage.
Okay, come on, higher roll. Here we go.
16 +8.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
She leans forward for the sandwich. She grasps it very delicately. It is in this moment you might have a feeling of hesitation because these sandwiches have been made to be quite petite for a quite petite woman, and you have stacked as you described. However, Tana seems to be one of those people who's quite happy to go to like a fat burger and just squish it down. And as her jaw unhinges,
She just unlocks her jaw and just drops it.
Lucky lad.
Bloody hell.
the surprisingly
I
the surprisingly delicate woman takes a huge bite of this sandwich and seems to enjoy it greatly. She looks a little surprised and puts it back down and says, well, I suppose we might be able to find some ways to work with you to ensure that your influence in Sargasso isn't tormented too much. How might we be able to help?
Well, I mean, you won me over with the 10,000 shiny ones, but perhaps we Any additional intel on who we might seek information from, or are you asking us to find the riffraff and the shadowy areas of town to learn the unknown?
I'm hoping you will use your own reputation, admittedly, to get some information. However, I have heard of a boy about town whose name is Archie, who might be able to assist a little bit, though the information is a bit spotty on how a child would know. But still, that might be your best place to start, and that's all I can do. I can also perhaps send some people around afterwards if you ruffle some feathers to smooth things along, or share some rumors about how incredibly terrifying you are.
Well, that would be wonderful. And the timeline on this?
As soon as possible. I was hoping you would leave today if possible.
Oh, right.
Well, lads, it looks like might be back out to sea without a bit of rest on land. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, I'm all right with it, boss. Let's go grab the little ones. When they go?
I don't know if the ship's going to be ready in time to leave tonight. By the time we provisions and stuff, it might be morning, but either way.
Morning would
get
be
out there.
fine.
We'll do our best. If we need to sail at night, assuming the winds are in our favor, we can make haste. But yes, I think Eldrick is correct in that tomorrow morning may be a more practical time to set sail.
That is understood, of course.
And we've got to get pissed up tonight.
Well, obviously. One last thing before we leave you to your sandwich. The golds, the 10,000. How do we acquire that before we head out?
Yes, you would return here with the information.
Oh, I see. That's right.
And you would receive the remainder. However, I understand that perhaps you require more than just words. And she heads back over to her desk and she opens a drawer and she pulls out what appears to be a contract. If you head over and look at it, you will see what appears to be the stamp of the chapter of archives, as well as her name already signed on it. Or what you can see of it, it's very clearly like a very decorative signature.
Mm-hmm.
However, it very clearly outlines the contract and all of the pieces. This will ensure that should I suddenly die or anything like that, that you would be able to bring this back to the chapter of archives and receive your payment.
As Morrow looks over it, can we get a gauge of the amount of information? Like, what if we go there and we don't find any and come back and we talk to everybody, or we only find one bit of information? Is that worth 10 grand? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You can't. What you can see is that that you will receive 10,000 gold upon information.
Okay.
And then you would receive, if that leads to the procurement of the item, that you would then receive the additional piece of contract. The chapter of archives is a very wealthy chapter. So they're probably not a group to be messed around with, but they're also not a group that would really blink at 10,000. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would we know that?
Roll me.
It's a government agency.
It's a government agency. It's a main government agency. But okay. Roll me, if you would like, you could roll me a history let's roll me a history.
I don't know that.
You don't know that.
4.
Morrow's going to look over the paper and look at her and be like, for the most part, this looks like any other contract where we're potentially being screwed over. No offense. I understand you need to be careful of any other wrongdoers uneasily taking your money, but I can't help but notice that this doesn't mention pay depending on the requirements of the information we come back with. And all I can think about is you're asking us to go to Sargasso, potentially ruin our reputation, not knowing whether we're going to find any information, and come back and you reject the information we bring. He's trying to get a persuasion check here.
Go ahead and do a persuasion
May
check.
I suggest, a small token of funds up front?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a persuasion.
Sweet.
While he's rolling that, can I look at her and say, I want you to get your friend back here and witness this whole thing?
Which friend?
The one that brought us in here.
Oh, the page.
Oh, I don't know what they are.
Sure, a young student,
I just want another witness.
of course. Any witness? Bring a secretary?
Sure.
Cool.
Dealer's choice.
What did you roll?
23.
23. While I go fetch my secretary, please think about what you feel would convince you to move ahead with this.
Thank you. We shall discuss until you return.
Wonderful. And she steps outside. You will notice that as she walks through a side door, she stops to pick up your sandwich.
Well, while she's heading out, or actually after she heads out the door, I'm going to start loading my pockets with pears and grapes.
Nice.
Fantastic. Okay, cool.
So, lads, what are we thinking here?
I don't trust the captain.
Oh, I think she's such a cute little thing.
Oh,
Wait,
boy.
let's-
Little fingers. Look at those little things.
Eldrick, let's stay focused. We're talking about
They just seem
10,000
very
gold here.
friendly. Well,
They got fresh
I mean,
fruit here.
this is a
Here's-
legitimate contract here, but I'm worried of that. If we don't come back with the information we need, we're going to be down.
it's a pretty ambiguous mission to come back with the right information.
She has agreed to give us some amount up front. What are we comfortable with? Half, maybe?
I think she at least needs to cover like whatever our costs are there and back.
Yeah, we need.
You know?
we need half, Captain.
That seems
Say half.
that seems reasonable. But
It's a long sail from here.
Yeah.
there was one
3
thing.
days.
One thing she wasn't really clear about is to whether like is she expecting that somebody is out there using this weapon already, or that we're just trying to find information that it's like stuck up in a cave on the top of a mountain behind a rock.
It sounds like the latter to me.
Is that the first one or the second one?
The second one. I think
Okay.
you climb ladders, and when you get to the top, you're there afterwards, so that makes sense.
No, it's not with the D's. It's with the T's. Ladder, not ladder.
I'm
I've
getting
been-
visibly frustrated.
As you're getting visibly frustrated, the door opens and Tana walks in with an elven woman, a high elven woman, and this woman's wearing like a pale gray dress with some white and silver like accessories. And as she approaches, you see something that is quite familiar around this part of the world, which is some very small gills on the side of her neck, which are currently closed. And a faint webbing between her fingers. This is one of the high elves with an aquatic adaptation. And the secretary doesn't say anything and walks around the desk and awaits you. Tana, indicates for you to sign.
I look over at the crew and say, Tana, and thank you, ma'am, for joining us here. We would feel comfortable with taking 50% up front and the other 50% on receiving the information you acquire, realizing the risk that if we come back with no information, there is no other gold to be had.
I will give you 25% now, and I will give you a banknote to be cashed when you get to Sargasso, to ensure at least that you get that far.
I think we would find that acceptable.
That seems pretty reasonable. I mean, there's 12 of us on the boat, so it's, a fair bit of provision up and have the rum that we need.
On the food, we have to
the
get the food.
and
Well, and it's your two's choice at the end of the day, Captain. You and,
Why, I appreciate that, Darvin, but it is, the ship is only as good as its crew, not just the captain, and it's a good
And the
decision.
cook, and the cook.
I said the crew, you are part of the crew.
I know, sometimes I get...
Ms. Tana, I do have one more kind of clarification point. I didn't really catch if you meant that someone is out there wielding this weapon already, or that it's hidden in some far-off flung place behind a rock waiting to be found.
good point, Eldrick.
That is something we're not aware of either. We've heard rumors over the last few years, but nothing that ever points directly to it being in the hands of someone.
Well, that should make it not any easier to find.
No, if it was easy, I wouldn't be paying $10,000.
That's
If it has been acquired, though, by
reasonable.
someone, you'd think recent information should be easy to come by in the right
well,
areas.
it sounds like it would be really damn obvious if someone was using it.
It's true. Well, sorry, what was it?
Tana.
Tana. I think we are willing to accept on those terms the 25% up front with a banknote to be cashed at Sargasso when we arrive. And then the remaining amount should we bring back the information you acquire. May I use your quill?
Oh, of course. It is a contractual quill. And as she passes it over to you, you do notice that the roll me a perception edge.
Okay. Ooh, that's
I don't want to
detailed.
assume what you notice.
I noticed lots of stuff. 14 in perception is... Why can't I find it? +4. 18.
This is a quill that you recognize. This is one you have similar to what you have used before. And looking at her handwriting, her own signature, it is a dark red. You know that when you use it, it will be using your own blood to sign this contract. It is part of the reason she is so assured that you will complete this contract to the best of your abilities.
Yeah. Morrow takes it, and his ears kind of dip back a bit, knowing the pain that's about to come. It's not too intense, but he doesn't like it. He's signed enough of these contracts. It always has to be a blood quill, doesn't it? And goes ahead and signs it.
Wonderful, yeah. And yeah, there is that sharp initial pain, followed by you being able to sign with it. And as you sign this contract, any of those in the group that are at all attuned to magic feel a slight shift in the air as this contract is completed.
Cool.
Wonderful. I will be setting this aside, and I will ensure that you receive your funds to your ship by probably by this evening.
Wonderful. Tana, I'm sorry. We'll be on our way. We have much to find provision and drink before we set sail first thing in the morning or this evening.
Wonderful.
Thank you for your business. Me and I'm sure the rest of my crew at the Scurvy Lady are, shall I say, honored that you would choose us over the many ships that come in and out of your docks. It's a privilege.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your empty words. You have an absolutely lovely trip, and I wish you only the best. And as you head out, the secretary gathers up the contract and leaves out the side room, and she goes back to her window where she was standing before. Anyone who is paying attention as they are leaving may roll me a perception check.
Perception. Ooh, 17 and 4, I think. Yeah.
Fuck me, natural.
22.
So bad.
17.
21.
Ooh,
21.
boy.
Fantastic. And anyone who rolled over 18, did anyone roll over 18? You did? Wonderful.
Yep. Morrow and Sue, I
Does
think.
Sue have any magical capabilities, any spells, anything like that?
He does.
Yeah, he does. Fantastic.
So he's a wizard in the kitchen.
You both
warlock in the
notice
sheets.
you both notice her cast message.
Oh, interesting.
Which is a silent spell, so you do not hear what she says, but you notice that she casts message as she looks out upon the ocean.
Is that Tana or
Tana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I make an insight check on that? I'm assuming like Morrow's initial assumption is like, hey, the deal's done. I need you to like deliver these funds, but he's not sure and is a little uncomfortable.
Absolutely. Right. Roll me an insight.
And can I walk up to the window while he's doing that? Just next to where she's at?
Yeah.
18.
You noticed after she casts this spell that there is a softening to her stance, like a relief. She almost seems like she wasn't certain that you would accept, but is glad that you have accepted.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not trying to relay that to the crew. I would just be like, okay.
Just kind of clog it.
Yeah.
And what's Darvin doing?
Yeah, so I just like kind of walk up and say, it's a beautiful view, love?
Yes, it's quite lovely.
Pretty far down, innit?
It's from here it's about 3 stories, but all the way down it's...
Wow, yeah. Well, have a good day.
Yes, you have a lovely one.
Subtle.
I'm in character. I don't know.
And as you make your way out of the chapter of archives, I think that might be a good place for us to take a break.
Oh yeah, let's do it. I didn't have the halfway
PP
music.
time, PP time, and have a drink.
Here we go. Hey everybody, we're back from our snack break.
Were we even gone, really?
Yeah, were we? It's the
Anyways?
ultimate question. Existential
Where do
crisis.
we go?
Where do
When
we
we
go?
snack.
We just over there.
We snack.
About 5 feet away from the table.
Right.
I kind of like that
do we
Dwayne has
go?
created a character that is realistic to his relationship to us within the podcast too, as like master
It's
snack
meta.
provider.
Do
Yeah.
we have a picture of our snack table on social media? Like sometimes it
we
gets a
should
little
get one.
ridiculous.
we haven't done it.
We should-
Dwayne does like a full-on spread every Sunday.
Amazing.
And I put out a nice decor, like, I do a kind of thing there.
Yeah.
I actually-
Dwayne always spreads on Sunday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
always
always
spreads.
spreads.
on
I've
Sunday.
actually stopped eating dinner on Sundays now.
Me too. I don't.
Me
Jess,
too.
Jess knows. She's like, I'm assuming you're eating Dwayne snacks. I'm
There's
like,
gonna be 3,000
I had a
calories.
shepherd's pie before I came here.
Jesus.
Good for you.
Yeah,
So
I'm a
British
growing
of you.
boy.
Like anything after 1:30, and I'm like, no, I can't. I couldn't possibly. Don't have space. All right.
Okay.
So you have just left the chapter of archives after having received your contract, your task. You do certainly now have time to gather supplies, chat with your crew. Now, a little piece of information that you as crew would have is that Saiya has had quite the inflation on prices for a few reasons. One is that it is quite a large city, and so you just definitely have that large city vibe to it. The other one is that the Ironquil Fleet has been targeting boats heading into Saiya Harbor and leaving Saiya Harbor quite a lot. This has been guessed to be part of their attempts to get whatever it is they're wanting to get by putting pressure on the Tide Sovereign who resides within Saiya. But yes, and you do know that you would get better prices from Sargasso if you were looking for something specific.
How long is the sail between where we are to
Sargasso?
Oh, yeah.
It is 3 days.
We're going to have to stop to the Monger and check out their clam.
What did you just say to me?
I said we're going to have to stop at the Mongers and check out the clams.
Oh, thought I heard something else as well, boss.
I was like, we haven't had nearly enough drinks for that yet, Sue. Yeah, I mean, we can stop on the way down to the ship, but sounds like we should probably start getting ready to set sail if we have that long of a voyage.
Well, we can't just stop for a quick drink, Captain.
I didn't say that.
But you got the young ones to bring back some rum to the ship too, right?
Just so I'm clear, we all know that us getting ready for sail is us having a drink before we set sail. Okay. The rest of the crew is there to collect the supplies.
Yeah, what do we do, really?
Well, we drive the ship.
Speak for yourself, Captain.
I was thinking that we should maybe talk to Sarah, the navigator, in case everybody doesn't remember.
Your helmsman.
Oh, yeah.
Helm's person, we prefer to call her. Or she'll punch you in the fucking face.
I like that girl.
Well, let's invite her out for a drink, and then we can talk about where
Sure.
we're supposed to go.
Sure.
I'm sure the rest of the crew can handle preparing the ship.
Do you want to go back to the ship first, Captain? Grab this bird and then come back?
Well, maybe, I don't know if we have to role play all that, but we'll say we head back.
go, you gather.
We gather. We tell the rest of the crew to
We're hanging out at the
continue.
tavern known as the Monger's Clam.
You know what? I had a tavern name, but now that's what it's called. No, that's what it's called. It's called the Monger's Clam. Absolutely. And as you like,
Is it anything like the Dirty Dentist?
They just throw clams.
Oh my god.
it is different than that. As you walk along the docks, though, you hear footfalls behind you.
Sarah, is that you?
Sarah's walking ahead of you.
Okay. I would turn around. Morrow is not afraid of confrontation.
And you see a beaming bundle of golden curls wearing her best hand-me-downs with a giant smile on her face. And this is Thal is trotting behind you.
Fucking.
Darvin, what is your deckhand doing here?
I don't know, mate. What are you doing?
Are we going for drinks?
Nope.
Are you going for drinks?
Yep.
Can I come with you?
Nope.
Okay. What should I do while you're...
Where's Tea Leaf?
Oh, I think maybe he was helping Gilda?
I thought you were supposed to be accompanying him and helping him carry the rum.
Yes, yeah, but you came back and we came back and we got rum. You were gone a while, and so we got rum and we got like clam juice and I think potatoes, according to Tea Leaf Finnan, and some other things. And
Onions? Did you get onions? Garlic? I need fresh dill.
Oh, garlic. I don't think dill was on the list.
God. Sorry, mate.
Listen, darling, and what's my name? Aldrich is gonna like take a knee, so he's reasonably close to eye level with her. Why don't you be heading back to the ship? Talk to Tea Leaf? Nope, the other one, Bristle, and he'll give you some tasks to handle. We got to be pushing off either later tonight or first thing in the morning. So
Okay.
Get it ship shape.
You should,
Ha,
yeah.
I get it. That's it's cute.
Just go.
Okay. Bye. And then she kind of
God.
like Eldrick, as you stand up, she kind of gives you like an awkward pat on your shoulder, and then turns around and starts heading back up the gangplank.
I get some acid reflux.
Eldrick,
Gags a little.
as we're walking, I think you have a new suitor.
I don't think that. She's only a little kid, pretty much.
Well,
a tongue cut in the
couple
wind.
years at sea, and anyway, let's move on. Eldrick.
And as you are leaving your ship, the winds pick up around you, and some of the ships that were heading out a little bit late pick up speed a little bit as you make your way into town, heading towards the. What did we call it?
The
Mongers.
The Mongers clam.
The Monger's clam.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Which I'm assuming is also a fishmonger. Like it was like
Yeah.
a monger that turned into a tavern or something.
It's that Pike Place market market.
Yes.
So as you're
Sorry, could I just ask one question before you
yeah,
continue?
yeah, of course.
Would I notice is there something strange about those winds picking up? Was there anything unusual about that?
Roll me a nature, please.
Dolphin, what you smell?
10.
10. It is a very large bay, and winds be windy.
Right.
Yeah, so you head to the Monger's Clam, and wander in, where the wait staff are hollering and yelling, launching fish through the air towards the window nearby that people come to order fish through. And you head up and order a drink and sit down, and you've brought Sarah with you. Did you bring anyone else or just
No,
Sarah?
just Sarah.
Why is it we always come here? Like, can't we choose a better tavern? Is it because we get the good clams here? Is that the
So
only
damn
reason?
close to the dock.
It is close.
Smells
yeah.
great in here.
Does it?
If you're into that thing.
Sue's gonna jump the counter and he's gonna start cooking and serving sushi. Right? He's gonna like start He's gonna catch one of these fish that's going by, and he's gonna start to
Roll for
kind
initiative.
And I would love you to roll me a dexterity check to grab that fish out of the air.
Ooh.
Okay, I can see what I can do there.
Let's see if I can switch to clam chowder tavern music.
Yeah, that sounds good. Dexterity. So that's my was it saving throw? Is that what we're thinking there?
Just a check.
Just Dex.
So I got 9 plus 7, so that's gonna be 16.
Oh yeah,
nice.
no problem. You without even looking, grab this fish out the air, like it was thrown directly into your hand, and start chopping and all that. And there's a moment of quiet while a couple of uncertain patrons look at the staff around, and all of the fish throwing people go, "Hey, Susie!"
And then he's gonna start serving up. He's just gonna like take his knives and just start dissecting this thing
Fantastic.
in fantastic ways, and just starting to serve it up.
Amazing. As this is happening, the tavern, people wandering by, whoa, you can hear the...
It's like it's ambient. It's supposed to be ambient. I can change it. That sounds like someone's peeing in
Is
the
that a
corner.
Goliath horse?
I like that.
Now pee.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Wow, just instant.
Instant every time. Yeah, it gets busier because you're making sushi. Skipping ahead.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming we sit down with Sarah. Sarah, right?
Yep.
Sarah. Yeah.
Sarah
Sarah
Gale.
Gale.
I'm up at the bar and I'm just like talking to some of the locals that maybe I kind of know.
Cool.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it, my brother Gerald told me he saw a big old lady with books on her back wearing a bridle. I think they were riding her like a bloody horse, mate. Just continues his conversation.
I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Psychic damage.
That's a good roll. I'm not sure if that's a 7 or if that's a. It's hard to see. Yeah.
That is a 1. A natural 1.
Fantastic. As you say this, one of the local one of the people working there flinging fish overhears this story and fumbles their fish, and you take 3 points of fish damage to the head as it smacks you in the face.
Watch where you bloody throwing them, mate.
It's actually a live octopus.
He's jovial enough at this point that he'll let that slide.
Wonderful.
Sarah, we have
Yes,
a bit
Captain?
of a ship, not a bit of a ship, a bit of a sail ahead of us. We've been instructed, the pay's good, to head toward Sargasso. I know we haven't been there in a while. How are you
I was
feeling?
there last. That was actually where we just came from.
It's been a long while.
Well, since before
3
that was a
days.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah, 3
The
days.
last one before that one.
It was supposed to take 3 days, but it took us 2.
Well, good sailing, good navigating,
Good wins.
good wins.
You win some, you lose some. That's what they say, right?
How were you feeling about heading back that direction? Coming this way, we had the winds in our favor, clearly 2 days. Heading back so early, do you have any reservations about that?
Well, all the locals are talking about how ships leaving Saiya right now are getting attacked. So, I'd say that we should probably take a bit of a roundabout route, avoid that main tread. If the Ironquils are going to get us, that's where they're going to get us.
What do you think about we push off tonight then in the dark?
Probably for the best.
We'd have to keep the lights low, put up the dark sails.
Don't turn on the headlights.
Right.
Probably have to tell that new apprentice of yours there, bosun, to stop smiling. She's beaming all the time.
We'll just put it below decks.
What? He's too thick to get.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that's good information.
Well, I think that was kind of the wonder. If we know that the quills are out there, should we be
Well, are they
taking-
never not out there, really? They've
Well-
been out there for some time. We've just been lucky enough not to encounter them.
We're not scared of any quills, are we, Captain?
I mean, not individually, but as a group, we don't really have a chance against 3 or 4 or 5 ships. If we meet them one-on-one, I'm sure we can do fine, but
It's rare that you've seen it one-on-one. You have a good point.
Yeah, locals are talking about how it looks like they've picked up another ship. 4, maybe 5 now.
To the fleet.
To their fleet, yeah.
So all I'm thinking is, does it make sense? Maybe it's not the quickest way, but once we start pulling out the harbor, we kind of weave and tuck and weave and tuck and weave and go like a back route that's not, the most common way, because that's where they're going to hang out.
Unless Sarah has some insights as we're talking about leaving at night. Already dark waters are risky as it is, and we're taking a route less traveled by us.
We could head close to the coast, head up to Reaver's Rest, and then circle around to Sargasso. Probably add about a day on, but a day's better than us dying.
Well, he holds up his glass to a day's
Of
trip.
not dying.
A day of not dying. it takes a drink.
Fantastic. Yeah, Sarah chugs back her drink and waves for another. And yeah.
Nice.
So as the people in front of Sue as their beers are starting to get lower, he's gonna take a shot of like spicy sauce, shoot that into their beer, and throw in a clam with a little bit of tomato, like with a little squeeze of tomato, right? and a touch of salt.
Invent?
It's a Sue special.
Sue special.
It's called a Suzer.
A Suzer. It's awesome.
It's the Bonger's clam.
Fantastic.
Clam of the month, mate.
Is there anything else you were wanting to do here?
No, I think we were just trying to get an idea from Sarah whether, and I mean, I think what we've gathered so far is good. So no,
Cool.
I
Wonderful.
think Morrow anyway. I can't speak for the rest of the crew. He would stand up and be like, "Well, lads, see you on the ship."
How many hours till we push off then?
Can't be more than a handful. Night's upon us. We want the pitch of the night, I'd imagine, so
Yeah, let's get going.
one or more, 2 drinks at most, I would think.
I do have a note on my sheet that says pirates equal bad.
That's
That's
good.
helpful.
That's very helpful. Yeah. Good. Yeah, and actually, a quick description on this map that you have. You have green and blue icons. Those are the ones that are those are the areas and townships or cities that are friendly to the state, essentially. And then up above, you have sort of your pinky red colored ones. Those are ones that are a little more questionable. These are both places that you are able to, as privateers, to sort of come and go with different rules, but with similar respect. And Sargasso is a little bit different, but we'll talk about that as we're headed that way.
All right.
So before we head out of the tavern, Sue's gonna jump back up onto the bar, the top of the bar. He's gonna do a backflip off of the bar, and do a little dance out the door.
Wonderful. I would love you to roll me a dexterity or performance, whichever you'd prefer.
Little acrobats.
Yeah, let's do it.
2 on the dice plus 10, so 12.
Wow, plus 10. Dang.
You land. You land with a little jarring to your ankles.
Slipped on a clam.
However, those around you are plenty impressed, and you've won them over with your food, and you don't take any damage.
Because I'm his best bud, and I'm like kind of like a wingman. I feel as he's doing that, I do like a spin, and I just like a point at him as he goes past me.
I would love you, considering how much you've had to drink, I would love you to roll me a acrobatics as well at disadvantage.
Acrobatics, you say, not athletics.
No.
That's strange.
I got like an 11.
You also manage this, though with very little grace. But the two of you together look pretty sloshed. Yeah.
Nice.
Quite the partnership. Wonderful.
Bye, losers.
Sue will dance him out the door.
Amazing. So you're headed to the ship now?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Any other things you wanted to do in the city before you head out?
Is everything still like kind of open?
Things are starting to close up. Sunset's coming along. Some of the stores are closed.
I would imagine I would imagine we've gotten like bushels of like potatoes and bushels of like onions and like a lot of like cooking.
Have you personally done this, or
no? I'm just
you mean,
I'm just hoping that
Yes.
that this has been kind
The
of
crew restocked.
yeah that it's kind of been restocked. Like I'm not cooking for like 2 people. I'm cooking
No.
for awesome.
Finnan has been working on the ship for a couple years and is
Excellent.
aware that you need when you ask for that, you're not asking for a 5-pound bag of potatoes.
Perfect.
Yeah, you have supplies aplenty, as well as all of the extra emergency rations just in case.
Awesome.
Is there maybe a clothing store I can go to? I want to find a flat cap,
A flat cap.
like a Peaky Blinders.
Roll me an investigation.
$17.
17. Yeah, there is. There happens to be a place just around the corner you're aware of. It's actually a front for an illegal fight ring. But so the store stays open obscenely late.
I'd like to go there.
Sounds good. Yeah, you walk in the door, and the lady behind the table or behind the counter is familiar with you. I imagine she's probably seen you in there before,
All right,
not usually
all right,
for
love.
clothing.
Yeah, just looking for a little flat cap. Getting a little bit more bald as I'm getting older here. So, yeah, it's just keep the little head warm there. My tufts on the side are all right, but I need something for the top, especially if it's got a blade in it.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you're looking over there. And she points nearby the window. There's a couple. There's a gray one and a dark blue and a sort of off brown.
I'll get the off brown one.
Sounds good.
No,
yeah.
I want the gray one. I'll get the gray one.
The gray one. Okay, cool. Yeah, that'll be 5 silver.
No problem. Pay it.
Fantastic. Cool. Anything else anyone would like to do here in town? No?
I don't think so.
All right. So as everyone makes their way back to the ship, is there any plans to do on the ship or get out of Saiya?
no major plans on the ship, but Mara would head to his quarters, light a small candle, and spread out the map of the area and start just kind of plotting. Maybe Sarah's down there, and we're talking about like this route that we're going to take and areas that we need to be aware of.
Yeah, and Sarah would point out to you the most recent activity of what she'd heard. That they were sort of located a little more south recently. She's just being a little bit cautious, and she plots out along with you and everything. And while you're there, you hear a knock at the door.
Oh, Sarah, would you mind?
And Sarah goes over and she opens the door, and it is Lyria, your healer.
Oh, Lyria, what? Is there something I can help you with? We're in the middle of something here.
Oh, so sorry, Captain. I was just, I thought I'd come by and ask if, I know we're heading out really quickly, but I'm almost out of coffers to go buy extra supplies and stuff, and I just sort of wanted a loan if that's possible.
Supplies? You should have talked to us. We just spent the whole day in town. You're bringing this up now. We're about to set sail.
Oh gosh, what time is it?
It's what time is it?
It's like evening well into night.
Yeah. I say that.
Yeah.
I mean, the sun has set. You can see with your own eyes, can't you?
Oh gosh, I've been down below. I've been making up. Oh, I made 4 healing potions over the last few days, and I didn't even realize I'm sort of out of stuff.
What do you need? Maybe we can make a quick run before we head out. I think there is still some stuff to be loaded onto the ship. We may have an hour.
I mean, if I could borrow a couple hundred gold, then I could probably get us plenty of supplies to make another. I mean, where are we going?
Back to Sargasso, actually. I know, we were just there.
Okay. I mean, yeah, if I could have a couple hundred gold, I mean, that would be wonderful, and I could go get all the supplies I need.
Fine, you have 45 minutes. Otherwise, we're setting sail without you, and I will come back for my gold.
Of course, Captain, I'll be so fast, I promise.
All right, he gives her the 200.
She's gone.
Okay.
Fantastic.
I would go and tell Darvin, once Sarah and I are done here, I'd head up to the upper deck, be like, what's her name, Lyria?
Lyria.
Darvin, Lyria has to head into town. She wasn't aware that for whatever reason, and like every other time we're in town, that we were heading in for supplies. Could you please make sure she makes it to the deck before we set sail? I don't want to go to Sargasso in the middle of the night in a direction we're not used to going without our healer.
Yeah, Captain, you want me to go with her?
No. Let's keep everybody else on the ship. We don't need more people off of the ship. She knows where she's going. She will be back. I give her 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'll just go up there and I'll wait right off the gangplank and just make sure she gets in there.
That's fine.
All right, Captain.
And 45 minutes pass, and Lyria is not back.
Oh, fuck. Fuck's sake, Lyria's this fucking chick, mate.
Who didn't go to town?
In that time, Sue is going to, he's going to go and he's going to talk to Gilda. He's going to present her with the grapes and apples that he picked up from because I would imagine like fruit like that is not easy to get, right? So he's going to just say, hey, I picked up some fruits and apples. I also ordered a ton of clams, right? So we're going to make a bisque, something hot as per your request.
That is very nice of you. I appreciate it very much. She looks up at you. How tall are
They're probably eye to eye. Right?
Well, she's a dwarf.
She's a dwarf.
She's on a box.
So, yeah.
He walks around on his knees.
She was standing. If you met her in the kitchen, she was standing on a stool. So.
Okay, so they're eye to eye.
Wonderful. Yeah. Okay, cool. So this is very nice of you. Oh, fruit. We don't. Oh, it's not very often we have fruit. Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're doing a good job.
That is very kind of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I go tell the captain.
Yeah.
Captain.
Yes. What?
Wait,
what?
I want to check. Where was that all Sue was doing?
Yeah, sorry.
With Gilda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Gilda is suspicious,
Ooh.
but pleased with what she has been given. So yeah.
Lyria ain't back, mate.
What?
Do you want me to go find her?
Someone's gonna have to go. I don't want you going by yourself, though. You run into some sort of trouble. Then we've had to deal. Now we got someone else we gotta head out. Who are we gonna set out with you? Take Sue.
So I go down, I grab Sue.
Okay.
I go and speak with Eldrick. Lyria didn't return after she went into town for some late supplies. It was my call. I probably shouldn't have made it without talking with you first. She just needed some healing stuff.
Fine. She was probably napping again.
Probably. She said she was below deck preparing healing potions. Whatever the case, Darvin and Sue are heading in to go and find her.
I think maybe
Should we
late
follow? Or,
late at night, like this, kind of the sketchy end of town, as the docks always are, might be a good idea to send Zarek.
Zarek,
He's just
on his
got
own.
that in with him.
Oh,
He's
with
just got
them.
that extra little punch of intimidation, if we need to, something needs to be dealt with.
It's not a bad idea.
Would we know where she would pick up those supplies?
No, you've had her go into town for supplies before. However, it's not really, to be honest, she's always shown herself to be a sort of a capable healer. So you haven't really questioned it.
Yeah, we'll talk to Zarek, and maybe I'll go down to Zarek, and would he be below decks, probably managing?
It's getting
guns?
later, so probably he's just polishing his gun.
Polishing the cannons.
He's just polishing his cannon.
Hey, Zarek, if you can put that away for a sec. Just need to talk to you.
Once that's unloaded.
Zarek nods.
Oh, right, he can't talk.
respectfully, yeah.
And I feel like I'm used to talking to Zarek in hand language or sign language, because that's often how we communicate. And so I am speaking out loud, but I'm signaling it too.
Perfect.
And I just tell him about what's going on and that I'd like him to accompany Sue and Darvin. Or, Darvin.
He nods stoically, but with a bit of an eye roll and kind of a "what are you gonna do?" look, before signing back that he'll grab his gear and head out.
Cool.
And about 5 minutes later, he meets you up on deck.
All right, mate.
Right. Eldrick and I are just gonna finish preparing the ship. We'll organize the route with Sarah. Do your best to make haste and return so we can set sail, please.
Sue, you got any idea where she'll be, mate?
No idea, but we'll go find her. It's all
As
good.
you are preparing, it's been about an hour now, and you hear hurried footsteps along the docks.
What do we see?
You're looking over the boat, and you see Lyria pulling her cloak very tightly around her, hustling back.
Larry, what you doing?
Oh, I'm so sorry. What time is it? Am I running late?
Yeah, you're running late. Come on.
Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. I just stopped and I was having a natter, and you know how I am. But I'm so sorry. And she hustles up the gangplank and starts to sort of pass. But the way you're all hoarded around, she kind of is having to squeeze by and shuffles past Marrow. And she's like, "Oh, so sorry, Captain. I promise it won't happen again."
Can I see if I can just kind of, as she's bustling past, kind of check her pockets and stuff like that?
Yeah, roll me a sleight of hand.
13 plus 10, so 23.
Yeah, you're able to, with a very sneaky pat down. She appears to have under her cloak a bag that seems reminiscent to the supplies she usually carries. And the other thing you do notice, though, is you feel a sort of slightly damp cloth in her cloak, an inner pocket of her cloak.
Can I see if she's being chased by anybody?
Yeah, you can look down roll me a perception. What would you like? Are you taking the cloth out, or are you just feeling it?
Yeah, I might just take that. I might just, if I can sleight a hand,
Yeah,
I would just
feels
take
like
it.
a sort of like a handkerchief or something. Sure. 19.
19.
Yeah, you look down the way and you see your usual couple of guards. You see from the ships around. Some couple of ships still have watchmen, even though you're at the docks, just from the local pirate activity. Do you stop Lyria as she leaves?
No. She'll let it go by. But
She says, "Good night, everybody."
can I like with it? This is wet. It's wet.
It's wet, yeah. And have you already dimmed all your lights in preparation to leave, or everything's still bright?
It's pretty dim, but we're not black.
Okay. Then yeah, you pull it out and you see a handkerchief that appears to be covered in blood.
I'm gonna ask her about that as she's going by. I'm just gonna say you dropped this going by. I'm just wondering what happened here.
Oh gosh, I just had a nosebleed.
Doesn't look like you've had a nosebleed.
that's why I took the extra time, is to go and wash off my face by the bay there.
Bullshit. Tell us the truth.
I'm telling
Tell
you
us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth.
No, you're not.
Roll me an intimidation.
8. Most unintimidating barbarian ever.
So I'll
It's dark. It's dark out, guys.
She looks at you. She's patched you up before. She's been on the ship for a little while, and she looks at you like you are a warm, cuddly teddy bear of a man. She goes,
I'm telling you the truth. Truly, Darvin, everything's fine. I just had a nosebleed.
he's gonna Sue's gonna tuck the rag back into her pocket.
okay.
He's gonna put his arm around her and just say, "Is there anything that I need to know?"
Nothing you need to know. Everything's fine.
Trying to see if I can get a persuasion
Yeah,
check.
go
from her.
ahead. Yeah, roll it.
So 17 on the dice, and I have persuasion is +8.
She's hiding something.
Okay.
Oh, do you have +10, +8, plus? Did
I think
you do
he
your
min-maxed.
stats right?
He just finds these
min-maxed
sheets lying
hard.
around. He's
like, you
level
should
20, dude.
I'm rolling to my strengths.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's fine.
She is lying to you. She's hiding something. Or she's not. She doesn't appear to be lying to you, but she is hiding something.
So he's gonna say, like, he's gonna pull her in a little closer and say, "I know you're not being honest."
Would I hear that? I'm right there.
You said you pulled her aside. Did you mean you pulled her aside or pulled her close?
I pulled her in closer to me.
Okay. Are you trying to be quiet?
No, just to kind of like just
So then, yeah, the others would hear.
maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Roll me a perception check, low DC.
9.
Too many
9.
drinks. Too many of those
Also
clams.
10.
10. You can tell something is being said, but just as that's happening, you hear, "Ready? 2, 3," as your new apprentice starts singing sea shanties. And you look
Bane
over.
of my fucking existence.
You look over to see Thal hanging out with the rigger Alar, and she seems to be singing him some sea shanties she's tried to pick up but has not been successful.
Have
in
you
doing.
done everything you need to do?
Yep.
Oh,
Back to the conversation.
So we'll just keep walking, right? So we're just gonna probably be moving away from and just say, like, you know, I'm worried about you, and
I truly appreciate that. I promise everything's fine, and I've got everything in control.
I don't believe that.
I know you don't believe that, but I'm just gonna need you to trust me like you have every other time.
Okay. So I'm just gonna let it go for now.
As she's heading below decks, can I intercept Lyria?
Lyria, yeah.
Yeah. Lyria, what about 45 minutes was confusing to you?
I'm just so terrible with time. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, Captain. I'll be better next time. Next time I'll save 45, but be back in 30.
You better be. I'm docking 10% of your pay on this voyage.
I understand, Captain. That won't affect the medical supplies, though, will it?
No, it affects your pay,
That's
not what
fine.
benefits the rest of the crew. I hope you managed to get the supplies you needed.
I did, Captain.
Excellent. Well, below deck, please. We're about to set sail.
Thank you, Captain.
And she very sheepishly walks off. All right. Are you all ready to leave? No one else needs to interview Lyria. No, we're good. Okay, cool. Perfect. As the Scurvy Lady sits proudly at her dock, her masts tall and sails furled, waiting to catch the breeze, the deck is alive with activity as your crew scurry across the wooden planks, preparing this frigate for her journey. The ropes creak and the pulleys clink as hands pull and belay, securing barrels, stowing provisions, and making final checks. With well-practiced hands, Gilda, Finnan, and Thal release the heavy mooring ropes from the wharf, hauling them on board. As each line is pulled in, the ship begins to drift from its mooring, nudged gently by the subtle push of oars from a small launch boat that's helping to guide her away. She rocks slightly, free from her tether to the land. And with a signal, the ship's lower sails drop from the yards, and the massive mainsail begins to flap in the breeze as the crew hoists away. The wood creaks softly as the ship begins to move forward, the wind in her sails propelling her forward towards the harbor's mouth. As the ship leaves the dock behind, her speed grows, slicing cleanly through the waters, leaving only a ripple of wake but trailing behind her. She maneuvers gracefully through the harbor, crew at the ready, a feeling in the air of anticipation of a new adventure and new possibilities. As the ship approaches the harbor's edge, the upper sails are raised, adding to her speed and power. The masts groan gently under the added weight of the wind, and the Scurvy Lady surges forward, breaking free of the harbor's calm waters. You have now a 3 to 4 day journey. Is there anything that you would be doing during this time?
I think as the ship was kind of pulling out of the harbor, even just kind of leaving the dock, Eldrick would have went and pulled probably Zarek and mustache guy Bristle aside and just had a chat with them to like be on high alert, especially for the first few hours as we're headed out, and expect to see the Ironquil.
Perfect. Yeah. Zarek nods knowingly, and Bristle says,
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. We'll keep an eye out. Absolutely, of course.
And you notice that he's fidgeting with his hands a little more than usual.
A little nervous today there,
Oh,
Bristle?
just
Too much coffee.
Probably
perhaps.
just a long day. Just a long day. Yeah.
Okay, let's get going. And heads out to go and get everyone ready to go.
Mara would be making rounds as we're leaving the bay to make sure all our lights are out. So he's like putting out all the candles, including the one in his quarters, and notifying all the crew that we're traveling in dark.
Okay, sounds good. Perfect.
Darvin's hanging out with Thal, just showing some basic woodworking skills, just for stuff that, they will need to know in the event that something breaks. Just some basic stuff for them.
Sweet. Awesome. Anyone else do anything?
Sue would probably be downstairs kind of peeling a bunch of potatoes just to get that started, putting it in a sort of cauldron of water just to get it pre-boiled.
Perfect.
Salting the clams, opening them up.
Is there a chance Morrow would have seen, heard, whatever the interaction between Sue and Lyria? Because he was coming to speak with her about her being late.
Yeah.
But then noticed them talking.
I would say that would be fairly reasonable. Yeah. You were heading her way to talk to her as well. Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to head below deck to speak with Sue. So I'd head into the kitchen. For sure. Assuming Gilda isn't around. I don't know if she...
Gilda's probably helping up on the decks and everything, get things underway.
Sue, I hope you don't mind me interrupting your potatoes there.
It's all good, buddy.
I couldn't help but notice the interaction you had with Lyria up on the deck before we head out of the docks. Anything I should be aware of?
Nothing that she's willing to talk about. I mean, she had a bloody hanky, and I talked to her about it, and I said, is there anything that I need to be worried about? She said no. I tried to push her on it, tell her that I didn't believe her.
You think there's anything we should be worried about?
I think there is. I think there is something that we need to be worried about. I don't know if she's pit fighting, between now and, 45 minutes. You could make her a couple of gold shekels.
Yeah,
And I realized I haven't described Lyria. Lyria is an elven woman, a half elf, with long blonde hair and very slight frame, almost a regal appearance, though very timid.
As I said, pit fighting. So.
Oh yeah. I forgot what she looked like. I'm just looking at the picture now.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happening there.
She is meant to heal, to patch. Maybe she came across an unsavory situation and was drawn to help someone and didn't want to speak of it. But something for us to keep an eye on. Appreciate your honesty. Last thing we need on our ship is an issue with trust.
For sure. She's keeping a secret, but I'm not sure what it is. And I think she's in trouble, but I'm not sure what or why.
Well, we all need to carry our secrets, and that's allowed and encouraged. But things that would affect the rest of us need to come to light. So I wouldn't mind if you could help me keep an eye on that. And
sure.
If something comes up, we should do something about it.
Yep. Do that.
So I'll leave you to the... What is it you're making? It doesn't look at all like sushi.
No, we're going to do a bisque. We're going to sort of like a seafood chowder kind of thing.
With the rains that look like they're coming, that'll be fitting. Some warm food for my belly sounds welcoming. Thank you, Sue.
You're welcome.
And he heads back upstairs.
Sue's almost, he's almost insulted.
Yeah, I feel like Morrow was like subtly insulted.
Oh, wonderful. A cat who doesn't like raw fish. Anything else anyone's doing in the days to come? You have a couple of days. And for the sake of transparency, I'll say that this trip should have taken you 4 days, but quite surprisingly, it takes you 3.
Yeah, I'm trying to imagine what Morrow, like, I've never been the captain of a ship, like, other than going around and, like, making sure people doing what they're supposed to. Like, what does a captain do? Like, do I go into my quarters and, like, review? I suppose I might start, actually, that makes sense. Morrow would have done previous contracts with people in Sargasso, the people he would have contacted to hire, not Lyria, our new hire, Thal, right? So he's just going through his like Rolodex, his paperwork, his journal, and trying to pull out people he's spoken with before and kind of making a priority list, and put Archie at the top of it.
Archie at the top. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
I think I would be walking around with Thal and like spent a whole one of those days ship top to bottom as much as we can see, especially internally, just making sure that they know what's important, what's not important, what to look for, just teaching them again, just more woodworking skills. It's what they're there to learn, general maintenance of the ship kind of thing.
Much to what I imagine is your aggravation, she is just as happy and energetic by the end of your long day as she was the moment you came and got her from the galley for breakfast.
No, I know you're bloody excited, but when we're looking at the cannons, you got the cannon stops. The cannon stops stop the wheels from going backwards, so this thing shoots through the other side of the bloody ship. Make sure they're not rotted out.
Like this one, and she holds up one that's like completely detached.
Oh my god, fix that right now.
Oh, okay. It is really like rotted all the way through, and she like it crumbles in her hand.
Jeez.
Go get
Who
some.
takes care of this? Oh my goodness, you should have a word with them. This needs some work.
Go get some wood from the supplies. I'll show you how to do it.
Oh, okay. And she heads off. Wonderful.
Gonna throttle her.
Eldrick would go up to see Sarah at the helm and just have a little chat with her. I just forgot my voice for a sec. I've been noticing that these last couple trips, they all seem to be going a little bit quicker than usual.
I've been noticing the same thing. Just favorable winds, but doesn't matter which way we turn, the winds stay favorable.
It seems like maybe connected to what... well, you weren't there when we were talking to Tana at the archives, but this artifact that we're after has the ability to change things. She said weather and... What is that stupid thing called? The Hammer of the Ocean? No, the Heart of the Tides. It's called. And I don't know. It just seems like this is a bit more than a coincidence.
I have to admit, I was sort of wondering the same thing. It doesn't make sense that we'd be just constantly getting. Although, have you noticed we seem to be slowing down at night?
Nope. It's usually when I'm sleeping.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. Forgot you don't take watches.
I used to, but
Then you moved up.
and got the promotion. And
Yeah, now you get to sleep regular hours. That must be nice.
it's pretty great. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty
it
great.
sounds like a good time. Yeah, good. I've just noticed at nighttime we seem to be slowing down, and then come morning, come breakfast, we're up and going again.
Maybe just keep the logs with anything that you're noticing that way.
Yep.
Weather-related, tides-related,
Yep.
wind direction, all
Usual
the stuff.
things that are my job. Yeah.
The usual job
Sounds good.
of a navigator.
Keep doing my
that
job.
you are.
Sounds good. Why you pay me the big bucks?
Yep.
You don't, to clarify.
Oh, I'll talk to you. Want me to talk to Maro?
No, it's fine. It's
Mar-
good. No,
I
it's
was getting
it's
confused.
fine.
Mara.
I make some money on the side. It's good. All right. Good talk.
Thank you.
There we go. So anybody last things that you would have done?
Sue might actually talk to our little half kind of elfy guy, or no, what is he? He is our, what's his name? Tea
Which one?
Leaf.
Finn and Tea Leaf. Yeah, Tea
He's
Leaf.
going to talk to Tea Leaf, and he would like Tea Leaf to, right where there's sort of like where we do all our cooking. He would like to see if he can raise up a bit of a platform,
Okay.
right? And sort of build that around sort of where we like our workstation. It'll be a little thin. It'll be a little thinner, so I can still kind of be over the counters and whatever.
Yeah.
But it should be about a foot wide, probably about a foot and a half tall.
Foot and a half tall. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I could absolutely, I could get that done. No problem. You sure don't want to ask the bosun? No, I've got it. Yeah. No, I've got. It'll probably be fine.
But whoever you think is going to help out with this, but I think I think you would do a good job.
Sure.
And
Totally. Yeah.
probably get it done fairly quickly.
Yep. No, totally. Yeah.
Okay.
Where do I find the wood? Oh, I've got it. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. It's good. I'll figure it out.
And he does. And by the end of your 3 days travel, and he does. It's a little creaky in places. It's a little weak in some. You overheard him getting yelled at by Darvin for looting into the woodpile and stuff. But yeah, it is done.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
So as we're kind of just sort of probably third day or whatever, I'm gonna get Gilda to kind of like open up about the recipes that she wants to use, and just talk about like what kind of things do you want to serve, right? What kind of things what kind of recipes do you have that would be appropriate for the crew?
Yeah. And she gets a little uncomfortable, like seems a little flustered or whatever to finally be like asked or whatever. And she tells you a little bit about the foods that she ate when she was living under the mountains and all of those. And they're all very like warm, hearty foods that are, they're all very warm, hearty foods that would keep those living deep under the mountains warm and all that. And she starts writing some of them down for you.
Okay. And then, so, I think Sue would start to, say like, maybe every couple of nights we could, we could, put in a recipe, for that you want to make, and we'll figure it out.
Sure. I mean, like, that would be good if we could try to we could add some things. That'd be cool. And I wanted to tell you, I liked that those cone-shaped things you made the other day. Those were. They were still cold, but they were cone shaped, and that was interesting. So
okay,
cool. Anyway, I've got to go. There's stuff upstairs.
Did you notice that I built the shelf that you could be up?
This is for me?
Yeah, of course. You can step up so we can work together.
Oh, I thought this was so you could like rest your boots or maybe like chop fish. I was not sure.
No, so you could get up so you could help me.
Oh, thank you. I will stop chopping fish on them.
That makes it slippery through my boots.
That is very kind. And then she gets a little flustered and then sort of I've got to go. I have things to do, but thank you. I will be here later. And then she flusters off. Wonderful.
Do either me or Eldrick get a sense or a vibe of any of this?
Based on what you've told me you're both doing, I'm going to get Eldrick to roll me a perception or investigation if you're actively looking for this.
Just like overhearing at words of the crew or something. But yeah, it makes sense that Eldrick would.
You could roll me one too if you think that you're not just sort of like cloistering yourself in your cabin.
I feel like I'm cloistered
You're
just because I'm
cloistered.
like a little stressed about this.
I just got an 8, so.
An 8.
Okay.
Probably not much.
No. Gilda looks like maybe she's getting a little more sun these days, a little rosy on the cheeks, but that's about it. Yeah.
While this is going on, Thal's been working heavily on these. I'm calling them cannon stops. I just made that word. I don't know if that's what they're actually called.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds about right. Cannon wedges. She's been
Chocks, probably.
Yeah, chocks. Yeah, we've been replacing those.
Perfect.
I've been in my bleak quarters that
Okay.
are void of any fun,
Okay.
and I've just been collecting a few. I have a collection of really sort of girthy stones.
Okay.
They're quite round.
Wonderful.
They almost look like the shot that would be in the cannon, like the cannon balls,
Yeah.
but they're stone.
Okay.
And I just got a few of them, and I've put them together in a little like knapsack, and I've started attaching that to my belt as we're getting closer to where our destination is.
Perfect. And roll me a perception check, please.
I mean, what is perception anyway?
True that.
I got an 8.
An 8. You know when you just like there's something different and you can't quite put your finger on it.
Yeah.
Something different.
There's something different
Doesn't
about the
feel-
stuff I've collected, or
No, just about your space. It doesn't feel wrong. There's just something different. It'll come to you at some point. All right, and unless anyone has anything to interject, we will arrive at Sargasso.
No.
So,
Yeah,
in
I
the-
think that's it.
Oh. In the heart of the endless isles lies the town of Sargasso, a bustling yet oddly serene haven for travelers, traders, and wanderers alike. Sargasso is a place of contradictions, a neutral ground in a world of fierce allegiances, an oasis of calm, yet always buzzing with the murmurs of secret dealings and the clinking of coin being passed in dark alleyways. Sargasso's docks stretch along the shoreline like the many limbs of the strange, slumbering creature, each pier and quay an artery that feeds the town's lifeblood of commerce. Here, tall-masted ships sidle up to sleek galleons and battered fishing boats, all jostling for space, while sailors and dockhands move like ants on an endless quest, unloading barrels of strange wares and casks of hard-won treasures. Sargasso has no single governing body, at least none that announces itself openly. Instead, a council of dockmasters, seasoned shipwrights, and savvy merchants ensures that the town's rules are enforced. The rules are simple and unwavering. No brawling in the streets, no theft within the sight of the docks, and above all, no disrespect to the town itself. Anyone is welcome, so long as they respect Sargasso's ways. That means a pirate captain might stroll alongside a Royal Navyman, each giving each other a wary nod, for, while within Sargasso's boundaries, all grudges and allegiances are left at the tide's edge. The streets themselves are cobbled with weather-worn stones, narrow and winding, flanked by taverns that spill lantern light and laughter into the lanes. Names like the Salted Kraken and the Gilded Wave are etched into weathered signboards, inviting sailors and landgoers alike to take shelter from the rain and the unknowns of the open sea. Inside, rowdy ballads mix with the rich scent of ale and fisherman's pie, and it's easy to find a seat next to a foreign merchant peddling exotic wares or a scarred pirate whispering of hidden coves. And it is here that you arrive, and here we will end our session for today.
Oof, nice. Love it.
So good.
Very good. Man, that was a great first session. Thank you so
Brilliant.
much, Chelsea. Loving the
That was amazing.
loving the setting so far. It's very swashbuckly.
Yeah, you did a good job, love.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
Thanks everybody for listening to the first episode of I totally know the name. Where's my piece of
Pirate.
paper? The Pirates of the Lost Fleet. Here it comes. Nope, I screwed. Hold
Yeah,
on, I gotta
what?
pause that music. Yeah,
Rewind,
we're just in
reset,
the
and
tavern.
work. Set, go.
Okay, bye.
Thanks to our sponsors.
Thanks for our sponsors.
First, grab your weapons. But first, kiss your kin.